Oh, hey, bitch. Oh, excuse you. Baloney wash. I'm annoyed. I'm just here to give my opinion and carry Annie. Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Hey y'all, welcome to Happy Thursday. It's your boy Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered, a show where we basically talk about all things going on in celebrity news and hot topics. So that's a show for you. Definitely stick around because we got a lot of tea to spill today. And if you can, please hit that like button and that subscribe button, and also be sure to smash the notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. I was like, oh, let me close some of this stuff out. Okay, so we got a lot of movie news today. It's been a little slow news day, but I found some stuff to talk about. You know, I will always search and find some things. So we got some faculty news. We got news on Scream 7, which has left me kind of scratching my head as to how this is going to happen, but we'll break it down. There's some stuff coming out regarding the tone of the next James Bond movie, so we can talk about that. I got some building the band news and what's happening with that show and Netflix and Liam Payne. You know, that was the competition show that he was a part of. We'll talk about that. Plus, Nick Carter seems to have gotten a break in his defamation case regarding someone who accused him of SA. But I got some news on the Michael Jackson biopic, and we may be getting a long one. The Real Housewives of Atlanta trailer dropped today, so we're going to break that down. And we got the latest on Wendy Williams. She's making boss moves in regards of this whole guardianship situation. There's a story going on about the Kardashians and Timothée Chalamet and how they want to hold on to him to help boost their show. And just about Baldoni, did y'all know that he was making a Pac-Man movie? Because they're saying that apparently that movie might be in jeopardy based off of his lawsuit with Blake Lively. And there's a new drag queen competition series that we got to talk about because it sounds relatively interesting. So we'll break all that down. And plus, if any news comes out that I may have missed or any breaking things that comes on, definitely slide it up in the comments because, yeah, today it wasn't a lot going on, especially, you know, with all the craziness that's going on with you know who and these cabinet picks and how there were people that really went in on Pete Hegseth and went in on RFK Jr., but they ended up getting picked any damn way. And it's like people who don't have qualifications are getting jobs, but they want to sit up in here and talk about DEI, this, that, and the other. But I'm like, wait a minute, y'all are the forefront of DEI because when you look at some of these colleges and things of that nature, like a Harvard, and I really wish they would have drew that further when talking about it on The View, that the only way that a lot of these people get like these hires or whatever, or people who get into colleges like these Ivy League colleges, is because either their parents are on the board, their parents pay money to buy them into the schools, or it's sort of a legacy situation, meaning that my father and my father's father and my father's father's father went to that school. Therefore, I, as the son, gets to get in because of the people who came before me. But they want to sit up in here and talk about DEI because they didn't earn it, as they want to call it, with people of color. So what it means is that it's okay for them to benefit off the system, but not everybody else. And this is what you're seeing with our government right now. So hopefully everybody can get it together, and Democrats, and take your thumb out your mouths and your ass and actually get up off your behind and start doing the work. Besides AOC and freaking Jasmine Crockett, they shouldn't be the only two out here trying to represent the people. But anyway, I didn't want to sit up in here and make this a political situation, so we're just going to move right into the show as I hit my banner. And let's get into, I was like, wait, where is my topics? Because I know I put them in before I, went off to eat something real quick. That's why I came on a little late, because I was like, I didn't put something in my system. Like, all I had this morning was like one of those health smoothies, and I just went and had like some leftover pizza that I got from Domino's yesterday. So I was like, let me just get something to eat real quick, or put something to eat real quick in my system. All right, so let's get into this story about the faculty. Well, apparently it has been confirmed, because I believe last year, that's why I was like, wait a minute, I could have sworn last year I had mentioned something or another about a possible remake that was going to be going around regarding the faculty. I think Daniel RPK has spilled this news, and then um I gave my overall opinion. I don't remember what I said because I can't remember what I say 5 minutes before I even say like 5 minutes ago. But for the most part, I when it became official on in the trades today that the remake is going forward, I was like, okay, that sounds like a pretty cool idea. I mean, I probably will remember what I had said back then. It'll come to me. But yeah, so we're getting a remake of The Faculty. It is like one of my favorite movies. I know it was like a cult. It had like a cult following. I don't know if it was I don't remember if it was a big hit at the box office. I remember going to the movies to see it, and I remember enjoying it and loving all the cast members and everything that was about it. Like it was a really cool sci-fi horror film when I went to go see it in the theaters. And it's always been like one of my favorite films because it came out during the era of like, Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer and Urban Legend and all those other films that was coming out around that time. We had The Faculty. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe Kevin Williamson wrote the script, but and Robert Rodriguez directed it. So yeah, it's beneficial. According to, I believe, Variety, a remake of the 1998 sci-fi thriller is in the works at Miramax. Now, Miramax will go back to school with a new version of The Faculty, the 1998 sci-fi thriller that became a box office hit and cult fave. Robert Rodriguez, who directed the original, will produce the film. Now, breakout talent Drew Hancock is writing the remake script. Now, for those of you who have no idea who Drew Hancock is, you'll get to know him if you actually go to the theater tonight because his movie comes out tonight. And the film that he wrote and directed is called Companion, which I actually saw the trailer for that, and it looks really good. I like the first trailer because I was like, it looked absolutely bonkers. I'm like, what the hell is this? The second trailer, I was kind of disappointed in because I feel like the second trailer revealed way too much. I did not want to know that the companion was actually. I mean, now when you look at the trailer, it kind of makes sense. Like companion, duh. But well, then again, companion can mean anything. But for the most part, the companion happened to be this robot, sex doll, whatever you want to call it, a companion because he's lonely, Jack Quaid, and he meets this girl. I mean, buys, this product, a companion, and she goes haywire. And then you have like the gay couple played by Harvey Guillen and Lucas Gage, who are I believe friends of Jack Quaid's character, and they're trying to help him through the crazy shenanigans, whatever's going on in this movie. So Drew Hancock actually wrote and directed Companion. So that came out today. And also Boulder Light, who produced Barbarian, and Zach Kreger's Weapons, which I believe is coming out at the top of 2026, is producing the film. So hearing all of this, I'm like, okay, now I'm really intrigued in regards of what they're going to possibly bring to this franchise. Because here's the thing, The Faculty isn't a perfect sci-fi horror movie, but every time I watch it, I'm thoroughly on pins and needles. I thoroughly enjoyed the film. There's something I'm still baffled about. I'm still baffled to this day regarding why did they put Usher's picture up in there? Usher was barely in the damn movie, unless when they were shooting the film, he had a lot of scenes and they just like cut it down. Maybe because Usher's not that good of an actor, but also because, because remember at one point they were trying to, make him like a movie star or whatever, and it just wasn't working because Usher got to be personable. Like he got to let go, and it's the Beyonce effect. Him, Beyonce, Madonna, like lead the acting to the professionals. But in regards to this, I was like, yeah, they put him all through the promos. And then when it came out to the movie, like he was barely in it. He had like maybe two scenes, and that was it. And it was him basically picking on Casey, played by Elijah Wood. Now, in regards to this, so I'm thoroughly intrigued based off of who's gonna be behind it, because I said like if Companion turns out to be a good movie, I don't know. I haven't seen the film. I haven't watched any of the reviews from trusted reviewers that I normally watch on YouTube. So I don't know. I'm sure that it's probably gotten good reviews. So I haven't seen it yet. So I have no idea. But if it is good, let me know in the comments. But and I do want to check it out whenever I can get around to it. But for the most part, it's like with all these people that they're saying is being involved, especially with Zach Kreger, and we talked about it the other day, he is going to be behind the new Resident Evil reboot. So with all these people coming in and Borderlight, I'm like, does this mean that Borderlight is going to be like in the studio that we're going to be talking about on the same level as like a Blumhouse and an A24, because I didn't really hear about them. But based over some of the movies that have come out regarding of that production company, I'm like, okay, I think I'm starting to hear a lot about y'all, and you're coming through the back door, and we starting to see y'all. So I was like, okay, I see a little competition over here with this Boulder Lights production company. But anyway, to not get too philosophical in the studio stuff, I'm definitely curious to see what they're going to do with the new faculty movie. Now, for those of you who are not familiar, and that'd probably be very few of you, the original version of the faculty focused on a group of students who begin to suspect that the offbeat administrators and teachers at their high school are hiding a deadly secret. And that deadly secret would be that there's some kind of alien species that came and has basically infected a lot of the faculty meaning the teachers. And the students, a bunch of misfits, they have the nerd, the shy girl, but and you have the rebellious girl, and then you have the jock, and you get all these different people. It was very much like the Breakfast Club, but it was just like with aliens. So you have all these different people with different personalities that pretty much are going to come in, and they go revolt against their teachers. And what I'm hoping is that y'all come at it from a different angle, because how I grew up in the 90s and what we had to deal with is kind of different now than with social media and smartphones and all this other stuff, and how this younger generation is. So you have to write it from a point of view of this new generation, this 2025 generation of kids, these Gen Zers, how would they navigate through an alien invasion? And I also think that I don't think it should be an exact remake. I think it needs to be, I hope they kind of play into like maybe a part remake, part legacy sequel, meaning, yes, as it has become pretty much the thing now, bring some of the characters from the original faculty movie into this movie. So I ain't saying you got to bring everybody, but you can bring in Jordana Brewster, because Jordana Brewster is sort of like that genre actress. She's about to be in Hard Eyes. She's doing the next Fast and the Furious movie. We've been seeing a lot of her a lot lately. So I think bring Jordana Brewster back. Make sure, have her still in a relationship with Casey. You can make Casey, played by Elijah Wood. um, Jordana Brewster's character was Delilah. Then you had then you have Casey, who can come in and pretty much be like this podcaster, conspiracy theorist type, or whatever the case is. And maybe there's some new alien strain that's coming around that's not like the previous alien strain, but something far more vicious and sinister. So I feel like y'all need to switch it up a little bit. Don't make the alien exactly like Mary Beth. Remember her, who was the alien in disguise as like this Southern Belle. So if y'all don't want to sit up in here and do that with the story, you need to change it up a little bit. Don't make it predictable. So for that way, us legacy fans are gonna go in and see this movie, like myself, because I'm definitely gonna go see it. Like, and if it sucks, I'll go back to the original movie. Also, I don't know if y'all remember, Jon Stewart was in it. He was the science teacher. And look where Jon Stewart is today. So, yeah, this was the scene that Jon Stewart was in because he was infected. And then, Zeke do that one of those scenes that always gives me chills, where he rips the thing off, like when you cut the paper and he rips that off and you see the screws flying. I always love that shot. So it was like, and Robert Rodriguez has always been one of like my favorite genre directors. I love From Dusk Till Dawn. I love El Mariachi. I've always loved a lot of the films that he's made. Spy Kids was way past my pay grade, and I aged out with that. That wasn't my generation. But all the other stuff, I was pretty much a fan of Robert Rodriguez and stuff. So when I heard that he was coming in to direct this film, I was excited. So for the most part, it was like, yeah, that's my overall thought on that. Oh yeah, and I forgot he did Sin City too. So I did like that film. And so yeah, I'm actually hoping that they do a good job with this film. It seems like Miramax is back because they've been rebooting a lot of their old IPs, and I think that's where we are right now with a lot of these films. So yeah, I'm pretty much excited for this film. And like I said before, if it sucks, then we always got the original that we can go back to. But I really do hope that they come up with a really cool idea. They modernize it for this generation and don't try to go back to what we saw in the 90s. But also, but like I said, if you want to, bring some of the legacy characters back in. I don't say you need to bring all of them. You could bring in Casey and you could bring in Delilah. And I would even say maybe even Stokely. All the other ones, no, we don't need Stan. who was the athlete. We don't need Zeke. Although I would love to see Josh Hartnett come back. So I don't know. Y'all figure out what y'all need to do, who y'all need to bring back to the franchise. So I'll say all this to say to you guys, what do you think of this story regarding that there is a faculty remake in the works and that and if it does become a possible thing that we will get some characters from the original to come back in because it always seems to be the way they want to sell these IPs is they always want to depend on the legacy cast, but also kind of attach it to the next generation. So always trying to find a way to bridge that gap. And I'd be here for that if they did that. But that seems to be what we are right now. So whatever your ideas and all this other things of who you think should come back as part of the cast of that was in the original film for the reboot, the remake, let me know in the comments down below. Okay. Yes, that was Usher. He's like, was that Usher? Usher was in that movie. I don't know if you, well, I'm not sure if you ever actually saw The Faculty, but yes, Usher was in the film. And it was also, I think, one of, what's the name's daughter was in it too. Was supposed to be in it. She was all through the promos. When Tommy Hilfiger was a big sponsor, and I remember that they had the whole cast do like a Tommy Hilfiger photo shoot, and it was with MTV and all that stuff. I actually literally remember that as I'm vividly having this thought and vision in my head. But yeah, so he was in it. I mean, I forget which daughter was. It was I think it was Kadada Jones. She was supposed to be in the movie. They cut all of her scenes, but she was all through the promos, and Usher was all through the promos too. So I think what it was that they were just. I think what it's kind of like I guess what people look at now when you're trying to market to the younger generation. They do it through memes and TikTok and stuff. But back then they used MTV because that's what my generation we were watching. We were watching MTV, and that's where you reach the younger audience by the commercials, promos, all the other stuff. So I think what they were is that movie because it was like set in the high school and everybody was around the age of like high school students. They were like what 18 to 25. Like I think they were in that age range. So everybody was appropriately cast to play high school students. So I feel like with that, it was let's pander to the MTV, let's market to the MTV generation. A lot of the kids that were watching the, TRL and all that other stuff. So let's try to pull them in. And they did it with the Tommy Hilfiger ads and all other stuff. But then it was like, but the people that was in it, we didn't even see them. Yeah, that was the first movie I saw him in. I think that might have been his acting debut. The Exorcist remake comes out later this year too. Well, I hope it's good. The David Gordon Green one was not. Mike Flanagan is on board to do the new Exorcist. So, and I like Mike Flanagan. I like how what he does with horror. So I'm hoping that he actually elevates this Exorcist movie. So I was like, I'm pizza. I was just eating before I came live. Usher's career was still hot back then. He had a lot of hits. Yeah, he definitely had a lot of hits. That was 98. What was that? My Way era? So yeah, he had a lot of hits at that time, and he was a hot commodity in the music business. But it just feels like they used his fame to try to sell the film or try to bring a lot of my generation, us children of color, in to come see the movie. I would have seen it regardless. Like I didn't need Usher to come get me to see a movie like The Faculty, especially since y'all all know I love horror and sci-fi and all that stuff. I'm a genre movie fan. So so is that I find it funny that a friend of mine sent me a clip of the Diddy thing with the assistant and him the detail. I'm like, child, do you not know that I did that whole thing on my show yesterday? That segment had to be at least a good 30 minutes, which I need to upload to my YouTube channel. So I need to get around to doing that later today. No, not with her. Stupid. But okay, so chill. Let's move on to this story. And I got some Scream 7 news. So apparently it broke today, a courtesy of Deadline, and I feel like they should have just kept this secret in the chamber. So we all would have been shocked when we went to the movie to see this. But apparently the word on the curb is Scott Foley, who y'all remember was stabbed a multitude of times by Sidney Prescott, because she said stab 3, right? And stabbed him. I believe it was with an ice, was it ice? A nice pick. Yeah, because remember that was Sharon Stone's weapon of choice in Basic Instinct. So she stabbed him with an ice pick and then shot him in the head. But now comes the news today from the trades. Now, this ain't no rumor network. This ain't Daniel RPK and the Snyderverse and or Snyder Report or whatever they call it, or any of these other scoopers that, okay, we need to take this with a grain of salt. This is literally coming out on the Hollywood Reporter, Deadline, Variety, Entertainment Weekly. All the big trades is reporting this. Now, when I heard this story, I'm like, how in the hell are they going to bring him back to life because he's dead? And that's not a spoiler. The movie is over 2 decades old. If y'all have not seen Scream 3 right now, by now, I don't know what the hell to tell you. The movie's been out since, what, 2003? And we're in 2025? Where the hell have you been? If you think, oh, how you up in here spoilers? Duh. There's 6 movies. 7 is currently being directed. So I don't know how the hell they're going to bring him back. And my thing also, when I was hearing this story, I'm like, no, there's no way. Like, you can't make, we're not doing, are they going to do the whole, damn, what the hell's his name? I can't remember his name right now. Skeet Ulrich. Remember when he came back? Billy Loomis. Y'all not gonna come and do the whole Billy Loomis Force Ghost thing, are you? Like y'all did in Scream 5 and 6, where he was basically um Sam's conscience. Like, are we gonna have him in Sydney's brain, like having psychotic things, or is he gonna be the one who was in a mental institution? Like, how are we gonna work this out? This also points out that all the stories that was coming out that even I reported on, I'm glad to admit that I'm wrong. The stories coming out about how Kevin Williamson has a disdain for Scream 3. I mean, he's made comments and stuff about it, so it's not all that far-fetched of a disdain, but he's made kind of negative comments like, well, I didn't write the script, blah, 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 so on and so forth, but he's using source material stuff from Scream 3. Maybe he's bringing a lot of things from all the other films into this film. I have no idea. We won't know until we actually see the damn movie. But this also goes to show that people were wrong when they said that he was bitter about Scream 3 and he didn't want no parts of all that other stuff. So if you're literally taking a character from Scream 3 and you're having him come in the film, how do you going to explain that? And also, I hope it's not going to be, oh, he had a twin. Mm-mm. First of all, that's a cheap angle to go with. So I hope that's not where they're going to go with that. But those are all my little theories. I know I'm supposed to go in on the story, but I was just like, I was hot when I heard that. I'm like, I'm rooting for y'all with everything else. Like y'all know, I have been team Scream and all of them, not Spyglass. I'm still windmilling at them over the buffoonery of what they was doing, but that's their studio. They could do whatever the hell they want, and they could abide by what they are because they're the ones that have the money that they're shelling out to get this movie made. So if I had the money, then it'd be a different conversation. But the movie's gonna get made, so stay mad. But excuse me. But in regards to this whole thing, I was just hella confused in regards of like how they were going to do all of this. So it says Scott Foley has joined the cast of Scream 7. Details regarding the character in the film's plot is currently under wraps. However, Foley is already part of the Scream universe, having portrayed antagonist Roman Bridger, the film director and half-brother of Sidney Prescott, who was revealed to be the Ghostface killer in Scream 3. Now, Foley's casting comes with its own set of questions because Roman was killed by Dewey as Sidney's request. Roman has faked his own death before, so it's plausible that he could reprise the role in the present or perhaps in flashback form in the past if he is deceased. Could Roman have a long lost twin? This is Scream after all, so if he returns as a ghost, face killer, or a zombie, it would not shock me. First of all, no, this is a slasher film. How y'all going to have now? Y'all putting zombies over here, and first of all, I feel like y'all are going against the very rules that were created in regards of the slasher film Scream and how they parody a lot of the rules and stuff in regards to slasher films. So all these ideas that y'all coming over here faking his own death, there's no way in hell he faked his own death when Sidney shot him in the goddamn head, because she was just like, or was it that Dewey did it? Because she kept saying head. Shoot him in the head, because he kept shooting him every damn where else, and then he got shot in the head, and then he died. But then again, like I said, well, maybe I'm sorry, I didn't say this. Look, now, this is what we doing. If we sit up here bringing back people from previous films from the dead, can y'all resuscitate Cotton Weary, Stu Macher, and Dewey Riley? Can we do all of that? Are we about to hear a casting of these people are going to be coming back? And I'm always going in on people that keep talking about the stew angle, the stew angle. But now I'm like, you know what? I don't even care no more because y'all just up in here coming up with these things that are just so questionable. You got me scratching my head like, huh? Or is this all a bunch of damn deep fakes? So you trying to throw us all off with in regards of what is going to be going on in this movie? Is that what's happening? That you're just like casting a bunch of people, they're going to film different versions and then throw all off the set because every time there's a screencast and you get the people that get mad, the justice for Melissa Barrera, you get those. Then you get the ones that want to sit and have every damn theory of every person oh, they the killer, oh, they the killer. I'm like, no shit, Sherlock. Like, that leaves no room for when you actually watch the movie. See, I said that they was the killer. No, you said every damn person cast was the damn killer. So how you actually specifically put a name and a finger on the person who was actually the killer or hers in the movie? I don't want to know who the killers are. I just want to go to the film and enjoy it and go for the ride, which I'm still going to do when the film comes out in February of 2026. Almost said 5. They ain't going to make the movie that damn quick. But when the movie comes out in a year from next month, I'll be in the theater going to see it, but I'll be up in there with probably just a smidge of a side eye. Like, okay, what y'all about to give? What is Molly was good? Like, what y'all about to give us? Because I don't know what the hell's going on in regards of the casting choices and people you put in there. Because I know people was upset that we weren't getting Patrick Dempsey. People were upset because they decided to cast Joel McHale as her husband, I'm thinking it had to do with scheduling conflicts or money, because that's the rumor that he wanted more money, and all these other things that's coming out. So I was just baffled when I heard this story today. So I was trying to see if there was anything else that we need to know. So in regards to that, I already know Kevin Williamson, who wrote the original Scream, Scream 2, and Scream 4, is back to direct his first Scream movie, which would be Scream 7. Guy Busick wrote the script. And yeah, that's it. So I guess I don't have anything else to give in regards to the story, but I definitely want to hear from you guys. What do you think of this story? Did y'all I was like, did I even put I don't even think I put the picture up. Yeah, because I have my pictures and everything. So yeah, I'm just like, what do you guys think of this story? Are you guys excited to see? Because it was like, yeah, remember this infamous scene? Are you guys excited to see Scream 7 when it comes out? Hold on, let me see what the people is saying in the comments, because I'm sure y'all have some. Um, shut up. You said Scream 7 starring Andrew Gillum based on true events. There won't be no meth involved. You said, I'm curious about what he's going to do. Are they going to erase what happened to him in Scream 3? Yeah, are y'all going to retcon everything in regards to Scream 3? This is what I'm curious about. You said Sam's inner demon. Yeah, that's why I was like, y'all gonna have Billy Loomis as like a Force ghost. That's a Star Wars reference for those of you who don't watch Star Wars. Is you're gonna have him as a Force ghost, where he's basically just gonna come in and we're all gonna be like he's gonna be the inner voice to her, whatever the case is. So I'm genuinely curious. And you said I was rooting for you, okay? In the words of Tyra Banks. And I really hope it's not gonna be I hope it's not gonna be a twin either, because I was sitting there like, the twin thing is such a cheap angle to go with. This is not like some lazy writing for a soap opera. Oh, they had a long lost twin, and his name is not Roman, it's Toman or something stupid. They always do something. I said, oh, don't go there with that. So yeah. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Are you guys excited for this latest news? Or are you like me? It's like, you know what? I've been going hard defending this movie for the longest, but now this one is a head scratcher. And I'm like, what the hell is going on with this damn Scream franchise and some of the casting choices that y'all been making as of late? So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Yeah, I was like, I forgot to put them pictures in because I was like, yeah, I need those photos so that way when I do the edits and stuff later, I have the background. There's always a method to my producer madness. But anyway, let's move on to our next topic. Let's talk about this James Bond story that I had came across earlier. So, according to reports, that I've been saying, because we haven't heard anything in regards of a new Bond film. We have heard that there was a story that came out. I forgot who wrote it. I think it might have been IndieWire. I could be wrong. But they came out with a story that they said that the people who are, Amazon MGM and the Broccoli family who owns the rights to the Bond franchise, have been bickering back and forth and saying like and the Broccolis, according to them, said these people don't know what the F they doing with this franchise. And they're kind of like at a stalemate. This is the rumor or the report that came out. But I guess maybe it would be a rumor, but it was a report in the trades. So I'm assuming that this is what's really been floating around. So while they're deciding to figure out how they're going to put this franchise or find out who the next Bond is, because Daniel Craig character ain't coming back. Well, Daniel Craig as James Bond, he's not coming back. He's done with the franchise. They need to bring in a new actor. I have no idea at this point who they're going to go with, but they're talking about, according to the when they do decide to figure out which actor they want and they bring on the next film, that they are going to change up the tone and they want to go back to the original tone, which is they want to go a little campy with the franchise to lure in a younger audience. So while the next James Bond has yet to be revealed, new details have emerged about the tone of the new spy movie franchise. And they said that this would suggest that the idea is to leave behind the more brooding, gritty, and grounded approach taken with the Daniel Craig era and revert to the lighter times of Sean Connery and Roger Moore. Now, the new insight into the future adventures of 007 comes courtesy of the Times. And while the report sadly doesn't reveal the answer to the big question, who will be cast to play James Bond, it does reveal that the franchise will shift away from the heavier themes of Craig's movies, instead opting for a more traditional and easier to sell via memes approach, which is sure to send a shiver down the spines of many a Bond fan. They said, here what we know so far. First, everybody I talked to, agents, actors, analysts, believes we are due a return to Bond of quips and camp, a shift away from the Shakespearean heft of Craig, more traditional yet easier to sell via memes to Amazon's younger demographic. Now, as the outlet points out, this is not the first time that the James Bond series has found itself in flux. It took more than 6 years for the studio to decide what to do with the series following the release of 1989's License to Kill, starring Timothée Dalton, which eventually made way for 1995's GoldenEye, starring Pierce Brosnan. This is the strongest gap between 007 outings so far, anyway. Amid reports of a falling out between producer Barbara Broccoli and Amazon, during which she reportedly called the studio heads fucking idiots, film industry lawyer and a co-author of Spy Octane, The Vehicles of James Bond, blames changes in the industry for issues in the delay. He explained to the Times. He said the Bond franchise is like a plot of land and Amazon is still building the foundations. Casting a star is far off as choosing curtains. COVID means movies make less money at cinemas now, so any Bond film needs to be budgeted accordingly. It's unsexy, but right now they're working out the back end deal. Chowdhury even reveals that he thinks the Wall Street Journal report, okay, so it was the Wall Street Journal, as I told you, I couldn't remember exactly who did the article, which first exposed the falling out between Broccoli and Amazon, might have been briefed by Eon insiders as a way to reassure the most important audience, the Amazon stockholders. And this is where it becomes a problem, because now it seems like the studios, all they care about is how do you appease the stockholders, rather than, okay, let's get a good script written. Let's get a good movie out there, budget it accordingly, get butts and seats, and then y'all can make your little profits or whatever the case is. All they care about is some damn shareholders. And this is why we get a lot of shit when it comes down to certain films and things. But in regards of the whole tone of this situation, first of all, as someone who's been watching a lot of the Bond films, I don't know where they got that there's these Bond films are campy. I never got campy from the Bond franchise. Yeah, the action sequences are over the top. The gadgets are ridiculous and stuff. But I understand it's like, how do I explain it? I was like, I don't want to say it's like fantasy, but it's just like, they incorporate like these cool gadgets and stuff within fighting crime. But with the Daniel Craig version of Bond, they grounded it a bit. They still had the gadgets and stuff, but they just grounded it like it was real life situation. Like this could be a real life situation that happens. But they did go a little over the top and stuff with the stunts. And I feel like, yeah, as long as you ground it in the story and everything else, but then you can give us a little over the topness, then I'm fine with it. I never got campy though. So I don't get that. Like, so yeah, with the action sequences, the gadgets, and the Bond girl names, it's like, yeah, when you had girls like Mayday, Honey Rider, Holly Goodhead, Pussy Galore, and Octopussy, when we had all those girls and stuff, they just had those campy names. And then you had Sean Connery, Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton, and even Pierce Brosnan. I never got campy from that, from what they were doing. They would give you like the quippy one-liners after they killed somebody, or when they would kind of have like that sexual flirty banter between them and the women that they were gonna go to bed with. That's kind of like, I guess, is that what y'all consider campy? Because I never really got campy unless I'm going crazy. But I've never looked at camp. I think when people think campy, or maybe I'm thinking campy, like campy over the top, I would think would be like Austin Powers. Like that's what I got when you talk about that. Austin Powers like a parody of the Bond films, where you had like this British dude with bad teeth, and then it was just like taken from a lot of what we saw in the days of James Bond, but they just kind of went really over the top with it, and they made two movies. One with Heather Graham, and the other one was one was with Heather Graham, and the other one was with who was it? Beyonce. She was in the second one. So if y'all trying to do something where y'all trying to just do so, oh, we gotta have a viral moment. That's another thing too that rubs me the wrong way, because it's like, how the hell are y'all going to have a viral moment in regards of this franchise when in fact you can't predict viral moments when you make a movie or when you do certain projects or whatever the case is. So a viral moment will be something like Megan, but that I feel like was part of the marketing. When the movie was already done, she had a little dance, whatever the case was, unless that was already written in the script. And then they decided to market it around whatever idea they came up with when they made the film. And they've done this with other movies. But if y'all think that this is a way to get butts and seats, especially a younger generation, I don't think they care any way less. Like as long as the movie's good, they'll go in and they'll support it. So um, if you want to get butts and seats from younger audiences and the Bond purists, just make a good film. This whole thing about campiness and trying to come up with memes to get us to go see a movie, that just sounds ridiculous to me. So movie wire and all the other, some of the trades and stuff is reporting this, but we'll see if this turns out to be true. But I feel like it's too early to even try to come up with that determination, because they still haven't even cast who they want to put in it, and we've been hearing like there's been some back and forth fighting and stuff. So I don't even know if this story might be true, but just in case, I just thought this would be entertaining for us to talk about. So I say all this to you guys. What do you think of this story in regards of them talking about that they want to go back to campiness and the campy tone of the other films, which, like I said, I never really got campy from anything James Bond. They could be a little. I think. Well, there was one. I think the George Lazenby one was kind of camping over the top, and there have been moments of the ones with uh Pierce Brosnan where they got a little ridiculous. Like even some of the sequences of Die Another Day, I'm like, okay, y'all are just getting ridiculous with it. So they've had those moments where it's like, okay, you're going a bridge too far. But yeah, so let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Felix says, have they even fit? No, they haven't. Three, actually. The first one had oh yeah, I forgot about Elizabeth Hurley. Elizabeth Hurley, Heather Graham, and Beyonce. I forgot there was three. I remember there was, what was it, the spy who shagged me, and there was another one. I think Beyonce did Austin Powers after the Fighting Temptations. Oh, yeah, I forgot she was in that too. Beyonce was in a lot of movies back then. Okay. All right, so let's move on. Let's talk about this Building the Band show that, we hadn't heard in a while regarding what was going on with Building the Band. We knew that Netflix was working on this competition series where you had three judges, which was Kelly Rowland, Nicole Scherzinger, and Liam Payne, were going to actually put together a boy band. And AJ McLean from the Backstreet Boys was going to host. So we were all wondering, okay, what's going on with now that Liam Payne unfortunately passed away? What's going to happen with this series? Are they going to move forward with it? Are they going to scrap it all together? Which, in my opinion, I felt like why scrap the show? We all want to see what they came up with, and I feel like the fans would, the Liam Payne fans would definitely want to see this show. And I definitely want to see the show and see what they come up with. And if the show gets a season 2, I know we lost Liam Payne, but they're just gonna have to find somebody else to bring in. Probably somebody, another guy from a different reality, a boy band. I wouldn't say pick One Direction because that might be a little too, oh, I don't want to touch that. But maybe bring somebody in from NSYNC or bring somebody in from one of the other bands. I would even say, like, look, if y'all want to get Robbie Williams back on the map because his movie flopped, pick him to come sit alongside Nicole and Kelly Rowland. Or maybe they could go with somebody from one of the younger boy bands. I don't know. They'll figure it out who they want. But according to reports, the word is that Netflix is, in fact, moving forward with the show. So last summer, as y'all know, or not, may not, Netflix launched production on Building the Band, an upcoming competition series that assembles a new band without the members meeting until it is time to hit the stage. The streaming service recruited a slate of judges, including Kelly Rowland from Destiny's Child, Nicole Scherzinger for the Pussycat Dolls, and Liam Payne from One Direction. Now, having actually been thrown into a boy band with 4 strangers, Payne brought a particular expertise to the show. However, production was halted following his death in October. Now Netflix is clearing a path to move forward. So, according to the Hollywood Reporter, Netflix hosted a special presentation, about the series in LA. During the event, Netflix Vice President in Nonfiction Series and Sports, Brandon Reig, had said that Payne's family has been involved in ongoing conversations about how the singer's role in the show will be handled. Netflix reportedly never had plans to scrap the series, which also features Backstreet Boys' AJ McLean as a host. They said Liam was a friend. He had just finished filming a TV show. We had just filmed the TV show together. This is what he told TMZ last year. Payne died at age 31 after falling from the third floor balcony of his hotel in Buenos Aires. And they said, we spent 6 weeks together and it's absolutely magic. I'm still processing it. This is what McLean added. It's absolutely tragic, and my thoughts and prayers go out to everyone. The family, his bandmates, to the fans. Now, in the wake of Payne's death, former singing competition series contestants opened up about the conditions they faced on the series, like X Factor. Rebecca Ferguson, who competed on the same show as season One Direction. Why did I think that was, I'm going to say Rebecca Ferguson? I thought it was Fergie. Isn't that her name? There's who competed on the same season as One Direction, said she believed that he would be alive today if he hadn't auditioned for the show. Now, Building the Band attempts to flip the singing competition formula on its head by removing the element of vanity, but only for the competing members. Featuring a group of uniquely talented singers, Building the Band takes face-to-face encounters out of the music equation. Instead, the contestants will find their perfect bandmates based on compatibility, connection, and most importantly, merit. And when the bands finally do meet, how will looks, choreography, and style come into play? Expecting plenty of drama, next level artistry, and unforgettable performances. Well, this sounds like an interesting show that I would definitely want to check out. And how they plan on putting this together, because I'm like, I still, for some reason, how they're describing it, where they don't even get to see each other until it's time to hit the stage. So how does, like, the chemistry and the whole formula of, like, what we've always seen and how they put bands together, which is they basically have them audition individually, and then they start to play, like, you have your Simon Cowell types or whatever. They're sitting at a table and they're looking at pictures and they're trying to put this group with this one and see, like, if they fit, and then you have to kind of, like, test out it and see if the chemistry is there, and it's always that drama. So I like the idea of, like, it's kind of like The Voice, where it's like you don't really see who these people are, and it's like you're just going based off of their talent. So this will probably be relatively interesting to see how this all goes down. So now it says, around the time the series was announced, Simon Cowell, who played a role in forming One Direction, as did Scherzinger, unveiled plans to film a documentary series searching for the next boy band. But from what I heard, I think they scrapped that because they had open calls and they were talking about that that there wasn't a lot of boys coming out to audition. So they scrapped it. And now I guess what they were saying is that Cal revealed that they just met to sit and talk around a year prior, and that he's halted production on the show because Liam Payne passed away. And it's no shade, but I feel like Simon is using that as an excuse because the show really wasn't popping the way he had hoped it was. There wasn't a lot of people that was coming out. We talked about it on the show last year, but we played one guy who was talking about that, yeah, nobody was coming out to perform. They was having trans boys come out and perform because it's like, yeah, now y'all really need to have everybody coming in because people wasn't showing up. And it was somehow how like it was just, yeah, it was a lack of attendance in regards of who wanted to audition. And I think it was because of all this stuff that was coming out about Simon Cowell and the process of how he, you know, finds talent. But at the end of the day, say what you want about Simon, you can call him the worst person on the planet, but he created talent. I know some people say at what cost, because now you got people like Jade Thirlwall who's coming out here writing shady songs about towards Simon, and then you have other people coming out saying things. So I don't know. Yeah. So the question is like, yeah, I don't know what level of status that he will bring to the show and how much because they said they halted production. So I'm like, so wait, y'all didn't finish the show, like, or was there more to do? And now that he's not there anymore, do y'all have to bring somebody else in? Because I thought they completely wrapped the show based on what they were talking about. They said they spent 6 weeks with each other, unless they still have more to do and it was going to be like a live show or something. I don't know what the status is, but I'll definitely keep myself abreast of the story as it develops, and I will definitely let you know about this story as more comes out. So I say all of this to you guys, you Liam Payne fans. What do you guys think of this story that Netflix is moving forward with this show? Because I say, like, yeah, why shelve it? If you have if there's something there and the potential for the show to go on, as they say in Hollywood, the show must go on. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Robert says, "Hi, I'm late." Ferguson. Oh, it's Stacy. Okay. Well, I know her last name was Ferguson. We got Rebecca Ferguson. We got Rebecca Black and Stacy Ferguson. I'm getting all my people mixed up today. Where my people live. Where my people live. Okay, so now let's move on to this story. So now, one boy band that y'all might not want to put in this Netflix show that Liam Payne is no longer going to be a part of because he had passed is Nick Carter. So while he got himself a victory where he could move forward with his defamation suit, his countersuit, I should say, against one of his R-word accusers. I'm like, yeah, whether or not that it's true or whatever, I don't know if you don't want to put him as one of the people in the show. Because I was saying, like, in the previous topic, who do they think they should put in as a person? Like, if they want to keep going on with this show, who could they put in to be, the person that fills the slot that is now vacant by Liam Payne? So, according to 8 News Now, which I believe is in Nevada, they said the ruling upholds the lower court's denial of an anti-slap, that would be capital SLAPP, motion from singer Melissa Schumann of the 2000s girl group Dream and her father Jerome. Now, as 8 News Now first reported in 2022, Schumann claims that Carter SA'd her in 2003. Now, Tuesday's ruling affirms the district court's decision that Carter could move forward with his countersuit involving another woman named Shannon Ruth. Now, Ruth filed a lawsuit claiming she met Carter at a concert when she was 17 and he was 21. He alleges in court documents that Carter gave her alcohol, R-worded her, and threatened her if she told anyone. And this is according to the documents. Now, Carter denies all the allegations. An investigation showed Carter never met Ruth. Documents said Carter's team also produced an affidavit from Ruth's close friend who said she believed that Ruth did not even attend the concert when they said they met. Now, according to the ruling, Carter's team claims the Schumans manipulated Ruth into making those claims. The ruling also said Carter claimed the Schumans fabricated Melissa's SA allegations, and with Ruth and Carter's brother, Aaron Carter, conspired to defame and extort him. The Schumans argued Carter could not prove actual malice, a standard in defamation cases where a party must show intent to cause damage. So now the ruling also said Carter provided ample evidence that Melissa Schumann changed her version of events over the years and that sexual interactions between him and Melissa were consensual, saying all of this evidence, when reviewed in the light most favorable to Carter's, arguably demonstrate that the interactions between him and Melissa were consensual. And that was, S word interactions. That Melissa knew she was not SA'd and that the Schumans, Ruth and Aaron, conspired to defame Carter, the justices wrote. So now it says the ruling allows Carter to pursue the defamation, extortion, and conspiracy claims against the Schumans. Well, I was going to say, how do you even prove that somebody, I don't even think you can prove being assaulted when it comes down to it, unless like right after you go down to the hospital and get an R-worded kit and they swap you and basically take all of the, like if you got any skin under your nails, or they'll also have to take stuff from your between me down there to see like if there was any semen or whatever the case is, and any kind of marks, lesion, abuse, whatever, if he was rough with you and all that stuff, take pictures. So there's a lot of that goes in being essayed. But this is her filing this decades later. So it's in so many ways hard to prove that he may have done this to her. I'm not saying that he didn't do it, because we never know, people the way we think that we do. But if the judge is ruling that he is allowed to pursue a countersuit, then we got to respect that too, even if the law doesn't always get it correct. And we've already seen how the law falls in favor with certain people. So they said that we conclude that Carter provided sufficient evidence that, if believed, shows that the Schumans published defamatory statements with knowledge that they were false or with reckless disregard for their veracity. It adds that Carter provided sufficient evidence to show that the Schumans published defamatory statements with the knowledge they were false. The Schumans and their co-conspirators have run out of excuses and will finally be held accountable for their protected campaign to defame and extort Mr. Carter, according to Carter's attorneys, Leanne Wakayama and Dale Hayes Jr. And this is what they said in the statement. So now in November, the state Supreme Court issued a similar ruling citing with Carter over Ruth. So my thing is, look, if Nick Carter is coming up in the courtroom with the evidence saying that, okay, these people are lying on me, and he's got all his I's dotted, his T's crossed, and he's proving that he was at this place at the time and he didn't do nothing with this person, and yeah, I had slept with her, but it was consensual. And there may be some overall shame on her part. She wants to call it SA. I don't know. I wasn't there. But if he's coming in with all the evidence, then Melissa, you and your father, who was being called to the, called out for whatever it is, all the things y'all was doing, you two need to come with your evidence. You got to come in with your paperwork all done, because Nick came in with all his stuff ready, and this is why we are where we are. So they also said that attorneys for Ruth and the Schumans did not immediately respond to requests for comment. So a trial in district court was scheduled for February 2026. But they also said that Ruth and Schumann were named because they chose to identify themselves as victims of SA. 8 News now, they said, does not identify victims of SA unless they choose to publicly come forward, which we've seen people do that in the past. But some of y'all be messy, like, oh, I'm going to just spill a name or whatever the case is. Unless the courts have granted that as being allowed, then that's the only time you should do that. Otherwise, you could get sued for defamation. So that's the latest on this story right now. And they're talking about that the case is supposed to go forward in a year from next month. I'm like, damn, why so long? Well, 2026. So anyway, I would like to hear from you guys, whatever your thoughts on this latest story regarding Nick Carter. Seems like he's got a little bit of a victory in his favor. Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. You said Department of Transportation is as pro-life community with the highest birth rates of pro-families get infrastructure and roads paved. And this country is going to hell in a handbasket. And I found it a cackle that Trump tried to blame Pete Booty Plug for that collision with the plane and the helicopter over DC. He blamed Pete Booty Plug. He blamed a lot of people. He blamed Biden. He blamed, I'm like, do you ever take responsibility for the things you do, especially when you fired the person that was the head of with the aviator situation last week. I'm just so over it. And the man don't care. It's been like my heart goes out to the people that, who lost loved ones, whatever the case. No, I'm just gonna point the finger. You're not gonna put this on me. It's like typical narcissist. Well, here's the thing. Anything goes wrong with the Trump family, I won't feel no way side. You won't see me shedding a damn tear. Because if you don't care about the regular people, I don't care about you. But anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about Michael Jackson because we got the latest, and now they're saying that because of the reshoots and everything that's supposed to be going on, where we talked about it the other day that the Michael Jackson biopic, apparently the attorneys from the estate happened to overlook a key factor in this movie, that there was one of the cases that they even built their entire third act on. That's like the backbone of the movie, like the whole spine of the book was the essay accuser, the kid whose family said that Michael molested him, and that big payout that they got. I think it was like 20 to $25 million that they were paid, and how the lawyer was like, "Oops, I think we weren't supposed to allow this." Like the script was written, it was turned in, they looked over it, they said, "There's no issues, you're good to go." The movie gets made. The film was in the can for a good 6 months. And now all of a sudden, allegedly, because the studio has denied it, so we got to say allegedly, that they got to go in for reshoots because of this big oversight from the attorneys of the estate, which I'm sorry. If that is a huge oversight that y'all missed out on, somebody's, in the words of me, somebody's going to get fired. Like, that's what it needs to be. Heads need to roll. Because it's like, damn, we already gave y'all $150 million to make this movie. And now we got to go in for reshoots. But the studio, like I said, has denied it. So I'm like, okay, if a movie of this magnitude, why would you need to go in and do reshoots? And then that's why they pushed it to come out later in the year, I guess, maybe for Oscar season, whatever the case is. But now it seems like it's probably for the reshoots. So now comes word that because there's going to be a 4-hour cut of the film, that they may split this film into 2 parts, like Wicked. So, according to a new report from Jeff Snider's The Insider, the planned biopic was an absolute dumpster fire that underwent various stoppages through its development stage. The report mentions that he did hear that Jafar Jackson, Michael Jackson's real life nephew and star of the movie, delivers an absolute killer performance, but the film still went over budget by tens of millions of dollars. The report also mentions that Lionsgate may be considering cutting the movie into 2 parts, due in part to how much money the studio has devoted to the project. Snyder reports that a recent cut of the movie clocked in at around 4 hours and still felt incomplete. And with reshoots looming, Lionsgate could split the movie to try to recoup some of their money. Although Snyder doubts the project will eventually be a 2-parter. Now, Snyder's report also briefly touches on the vibes of the set during production. According to Snyder, the Jackson family and estate were often there and difficult to deal with. Sounds about right. Because it's funny, Michael was the one with the real talent, but all of them was up in there trying to act like they was the ones with the talent. I said, no, they only touched 2 people in that damn family with the talent, Michael and Janet. So, okay, I was like trying to see. I did that reading. I lost where my part was of me reading. But anyway, so Sniper also really touches on the vibe of the set, and they said which resulted in director Antoine Fuqua often directing the project remotely from his van. As far as the plot goes, Snyder's report also mentions that originally the script for the film ended with Michael's infamous Neverland estate being raided by the FBI, and that the plan to address any allegations against him was simply to not mention them. That seemingly changed somewhere along the way due to the film's previously reported legal issues. However, so it's unclear where the project stands as of now. Now, according to a recent report from Matthew Baldoni's Pup newsletter, years before the Michael movie was in production, Jackson's estate agreed to never include the Chandler family in any movie or project about the star. I think it was the kid's name was Jordan Chandler. Baldoni notes that the signed agreement between the families prohibits the Chandlers, who were at the center of the infamous trial against Michael for child molestation, from being used in any dramatization. So yeah, I definitely want to see this film. I'm hoping the movie gets made. It's gonna be a little worried now because when they were sitting up in here saying um that the way they wanted to end the film was the Neverland estate being raided by the FBI, and then the plan was to address any allegations against him was simply to not mention them. I don't know if you get a good Michael Jackson movie if you don't mention the elephant in the room. Like, what exactly would y'all be talking about? The fact of how Joe Jackson was hard on all the Jacksons and stuff for them to strive to greatness, and Michael being a Virgo and a perfectionist, how he strived to be the big superstar that he is, and the emotional abuse and physical abuse he endured at the hands of Joe Jackson, who in his mind would be like, I just want y'all to be great. That's why I was so hard on y'all, and that's why I was abusive, and that's why I was, you know, mocking your features, which caused Michael to not like himself, to allegedly bleach the skin and get the nose jobs and all that stuff, relax the hair. And then I'm sure they're going to bring in the whole Pepsi situation, the accident that way he got the burns. So I'm sure you're going to probably take the easy way and touch on all the things we already know. But yeah, I feel like if you're going to do this movie, you need to touch on some of the legalities because that was a huge part of Michael Jackson's life and whether or not people still believe to this day if he's guilty or innocent of dealing with children. Now, do I think Michael was a child molester? I don't think he was. I just think that it was just, he was weird. He never had a childhood because he was a performer ever since the age of 6. So it's sort of like when you're in this Hollywood bubble, you have to grow up at such a young age that they kind of like it's almost like Benjamin Button, like they age in reverse. So it's like when you're a child and you're working and you're being around a bunch of adults all day, because like yeah, you're a performer, you're a child star, being around adults, and then you transition from a being in a group to being a solo star and becoming one of the biggest pop stars on the planet and really pushing yourself to be one of the biggest stars on the planet. And he was one of the biggest stars. He is on the Mount Rushmore of pop. It's him, Prince, Madonna. I don't know. We need one more, but I'll say I was going to say Whitney Houston. Whitney was late '80s. And we're talking about a lot of these other people. Like Prince was in the early '80s, Madonna was in the early '80s, Michael Jackson was in the early '80s. So I'm like, I don't know. Off the top of my head, I can't think of another one, but we do need somebody who was in the Mount Rushmore of, the whole pop universe type situation, what they were giving. And yeah, you can't do this movie without not bringing up the big elephant in the room. Like, I don't know how they're going to make that work. So I'm hoping, I've been really optimistic and I'm always trying not to be so negative in regards to this movie because I was like, because you already know how I feel. And I've told her this many a times. I am not a biopic fan because I feel like when it comes down to the biopics, y'all really do not go there in regards of the stories and telling the stories and really going there with a lot of the stuff that's going on. Y'all already know I hated Bohemian Rhapsody. And I think the person who wrote the script for that wrote the script for this movie because they literally tried to erase the queerness of Freddie Mercury. So if y'all going to come up in here and erase everything that is of Michael Jackson, I don't want to see this damn film. But here's the thing. I'm going to just wait until we get a trailer and we see what they're giving. And then I'll give my opinion. But based off of all of this, it sounds a mess. Now, I do wonder, because that's the other thing that we need to talk about, the 4-hour cut. Would y'all be here for a 4-hour cut? Would people actually go up in the movies to see not even a 4-hour cut? They're talking about splitting this into 2 parts, like Wicked and Wicked Part 2. I don't think people have the bandwidth or the wherewithal. Yeah, Wicked was successful. Wicked has already so far grossed over $700 million worldwide. Wicked has sort of like, I was going to say Michael has a built-in fan base, but Wicked has this fan base too. This worldwide fan base, this generational fan base. Because Wicked was on Broadway for so damn long before it finally got a movie. But thinking about all of this, I don't know if people have the attention span to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to go see Michael Jackson's Part 1, the biopic, in the theater. And whenever it's supposed to come out, I think it's October of 2025 this year. So we're getting supposed to get it in a couple months from now. What is it, like 9 months? So we're supposed to get it 9 months from now. And then when you release the other one, what's it going to be next October? Who's going to wait that long for a Michael Jackson biopic? Nobody's going to wait that long for a two-part, a second part of a movie where you leaving us on a damn cliffhanger. You know, it was different back in the day when we watched TV shows and y'all did that. But if y'all was releasing this as on a streaming service, like a Netflix, as it was like a mini series or whatever, like Michael Jackson, what was it? The Jacksons. Remember that one that they had where Angela Bassett played the mother, and who was it? Lawrence Hilton Jacobs played the father, and it was the one that was on VH1, which I remember living for that damn series. I don't know if people have the attention span to want to wait around for a Michael Jackson biopic, especially being a two-parter. No, you need to figure it out. Y'all can release it in a longer extended version on a Blu-ray or something or another and get people to buy the physical media. But as far as like the regular thing of like doing a two-part in the movies and releasing it months apart, no, that's not going to work. So I ask all of you, what do you think of this story? Do you believe, especially, well, Jeff Snyder, he's another scooper like Daniel RPK. He gets a lot of scoops correct, then he's not always going to get scoops correct. But this one sounds remotely interesting. I don't think that part is true where they're going to even go there with a two split movie, which he even said himself he doesn't think that's going to happen. But I do think that was an idea that they were floating around. And I do think there's a lot of mess going on behind the scenes with the film. And I feel like the Jacksons, can y'all stop meddling? Because y'all going to make this movie a mess. So even messier than what it is. So I ask all of you, whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Okay. Who said Madonna is laughing universal? It's okay to come to her. She follows laws and courts. I said, if she lets Baz direct it and if she's involved, fine, but it won't work if she's in total control. Absolutely. I feel like she definitely needs to let Baz Luhrmann direct it. Baz Luhrmann he's someone who knows what he's doing in regards of transferring the transition of movie musicals and how to make that work. Like, even though I'm not an Elvis fan, I like what he did with the Elvis movie. And look, he even got an Oscar nomination for, oh my God, I forgot his name, Austin Butler. So I don't see why that would be an issue to get him to come in and be a part of it. I was like, let me look for this thing before, because I was looking for stuff for our next topic, which is the Real Housewives of Atlanta. But now that I filmed it, oh, you said David Bowie. You know what? David Bowie would be a good one to go on the Mount Rushmore, along with, it would be David Bowie, Michael Jackson, Madonna, and Prince. That'd be the Mount Rushmore. Because yes, David Bowie's an icon. I don't know about Kylie Minogue. Kylie Minogue was way too early in her career, and I don't think she had that immediate impact like Madonna did when Madonna first came out. Like, Madonna blew up when she came out in like '84. So she didn't have that kind of impact. It was like Kylie was doing her thing, but it literally took her a while to progress to that point. I got you. It's like, yeah, the Jackson's American Dream. I remember that show, that movie. They better not fuck up this movie. And I was like, look, you already know how I feel about biopics, but I'm like, if it's good, I'll watch it. Just like I was talking about earlier with The Faculty. You know, if the movie sucks, I got the original that I can go back to. Matthew says he has every right. I mean, she has every right in the script, and he feels maybe a producer. He thinks executive producer, but says it might be give her the blessing to the biopic and just script approval. Well, I do feel like, yeah, she should be a producer, and you don't necessarily have to be a producer money wise, because we already know Madonna don't like spending her own money. She likes to spend other people's money. So she can come on and be a producer, as in you're a consultant when it comes down to certain details regarding looks, a movement, addiction, a way she would like act in certain ways, like mannerisms and things. It's like, and Julia Garner will get that down pretty quick. That's what you have to worry about when it comes to a Madonna, is that she can come on board and be that. Everything else, let the financiers handle it. Let Baz do what he does, but I do feel like she should have, well, she should have script approval. She co-wrote it. So I just don't want her to direct the movie. That's all. I just do not want her to direct this film. Anyway, oh wait, I saw another question. Felix says if she did what Tina Turner did and What's Love Got to Do with It, that would be great. I was like, oh, maybe we should put Tina Turner on the thing. But then again, Tina Turner, well, yeah. Well, Tina Turner went solo in 84. We about to put too many people on this damn Mount Rushmore. Let's make room for Tina Turner too. I'm your private dancer, dancer for money. Do what you want me to do. All right, so now, shall let's get into this mess that was the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Um, what was it? The trailer. So the trailer officially appeared today. I didn't even know it was coming. That was a shock to me until I was like, minding my business, and all of a sudden I'm seeing the Real Housewives of Atlanta trailer drop. So I'm like, oh, let me go look at it. And when I watched it, I was like, oh, okay. I wasn't enthused, excited, and I think it's probably because I've been burned so many times by previous seasons that I wasn't feeling no ways about it. But I will say this: it was good to see. First of all, kept getting confused because I was like, is that Portia? Is that Portia? Like, Portia looked like, girl, what did you do to your face? There's some surgeries going on, not just with her, but it was a bunch of other girls up in there too. And then I'm like, okay, I gave Shamia a peach. All right. And these other girls that's up in there look like a bunch of damn randoms. It just wasn't giving me the overall feel of what I loved about the old Housewives. And I know that they were saying, oh, it's a rebrand. And blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, that's great. But it's just not, I just wasn't overly excited for this upcoming season. But I did like seeing, when I was watching the trailer, I did see Kenya up in there. And I was like, okay, so how much Kenya we gonna get? And we actually saw a shot of her. Who's this? Oh yeah, this is Brittany with the picture, and she's at the hair thing, and she hold up a picture of Brittany Edie in a compromising sexual position. So it looks like to me, because I said, like, hey, look, what y'all not going to do is if y'all film all this stuff and King was a part of it, just show us up to when she was there, so that way it fits in the narrative of the girls. So, okay, this is the aftermath and how they all decided to talk about it. Because she said, what was it, Portia? I think what she said, that Kenya done twerked herself all the way straight to hell. I did laugh at that, but I was like, yeah, let Kenya have how much of whatever filming screen time, whatever that she put in there, and then when it comes down to it, just get, so like we had to let her go because of what the, actions, repercussions to her actions. And I was like, yeah, incorporate all that into the show, because as viewers, we want to be able to just don't do the whole ignore the pink elephant in the room, because the minute you do that, the people are gonna get on social media and cuss y'all out and be like, oh, so this is what we're doing. You're not even gonna let us know like what really happened based off of the stuff that y'all filmed. So yeah. So and when I'm, because I was even saying this, like, I didn't think this moment was ever going to come, because it was like we've been waiting forever for this trailer. It's not even like Ultimate Girls Trip, the one with Brandy Glanville and Caroline Manzo. We still don't know if we getting that, and they filmed that a while ago. So I don't even think Ultimate Girls Trip is coming back because of that. So you know what? Now, after months of anticipation, the show is back, where we get to see Portia, Drew Sidora, and Phaedra Parks. Now, according to People, shout out to them, they said nearly a year and a half after the series wrapped for season 15, it's slated to return for 16th season on March 9th, this time with a rebooted cast featuring the return of longtime cast members Portia Williams and Phaedra Parks as housewives and Cynthia Bailey as a friend. Now, they'll be joined by returning housewife Drew Sidora, as well as 4 new housewives, including author, businesswoman, and podcast host Brittany Edie, restaurateur and Food Network alum Kelly Farrell. Well, I don't know. I don't really watch the Food Network like that, so I don't know who she is, as well as Angela Oakley, the wife of NBA great Charles Oakley. Now, Shamia Morton Mwangi, yeah, another one who married an African. Y'all love marrying Africans out in Atlanta. That's what it seemed like to me. But anyway, so Shamia Morton Mwangi, who has appeared on the show as a guest and friend role dating back to season 5, has been upgraded to a full-time housewife. Child, at this point, y'all could have brought back Marlo. But the way Marlo been talking lately, I was like, I don't know if that's a good idea. Now, all can be seen in the action in the season 16 trailer, which Bravo dropped today. That would be the 30th. Now, in the clip, the women promise a whole new ATL, though insist the shade is still shady and the tea is still piping hot, if not hotter. Child, don't even get me started. Here y'all go using our isms, the homosexuals. Here y'all go using our isms. The shade is still shady and the tea is still piping hot. Now, you know damn well these women wasn't out here saying them damn terms. You're welcome. But anyway, they said most of the shade is cut from the trailer in favor of fun, though, with the girls celebrating together, sharing laughs, and traveling on a glamorous vacation to Grenada. But an official synopsis promises with a whirlwind of divorce, rumors, strained relationships, and redefined alliances, will the ladies be able to keep things peachy in the A? Now, there's a sneak peek at one scandal that made its way into the press involving Kenya Moore. When production began on season 16 in May 2024, Moore, a long-standing staple on RHOA, will be returning as a housewife. Was returning as a housewife, sorry, but in June, all of that changed when news broke that the former Miss USA would be exiting the series after allegedly unveiling explicit pictures of Edie while the Bravo cameras were rolling at a cast event. Which, if you've seen the trailer, we see that she was holding up a picture. Now, a clip of the moment made it into the trailer with Moore asking, "Who is this hoe?" when she was asked in the room. Now, at the time, an insider told People that Moore was retaliating after Edie allegedly threatened her co-star using the word gun. However, a second source close to production disputed that, saying, "At no time was Kenya ever threatened with a weapon, nor was there ever a weapon present during the course of production." Well, I truly believe that Kenya, queen of the props, where she came out with the fan one season, the next season it was a scepter, and now you want to come up here showing, people coochies out in a photo as a form of you wanted a moment. And I do feel like production encourages that. But a lot of times, Kenya goes too damn far when it comes to a lot of the things that she does in regards of trying to get back at the girls. And while we could all be entertained by it, um, slut shaming is not something that should be okay, or doing RP on someone. Because, that's illegal in some place. You can go to jail for that. So they said, oh, yeah. What Portia said, she said that was Kenya's choice to twirl on down the hill, which was actually pretty funny. And then she said, they said following the incident, an investigation was said to be launched by Bravo. The results, sources told People, are what led to Moore's exit, saying, "You are the best fans anyone could ever ask for, and I love you all so much." This is what she wrote on Instagram on June 25th, the same day cast members were told about her firing, always and forever. I'm sorry she didn't go XOXO Gossip Girl at the end of that. And then she also went and said, that she since apologized, saying in November appearance when she went on Tamron Hall that she is sorry for what she'd done and said that I didn't have to take it that far. Hindsight is always 50-50. I've taken full accountability for the things that I've done. And yeah, the problem is a lot of times you get a lot of these producers that want to, that always tell the cast to push it a little far, be a little more messy, but you don't tell them how messy to get, how far to go. And sometimes, yeah, you could push it a little too far and you thinking, oh, this is almost like, because the Housewives and stuff, those type of shows, those are modern day soap operas. Although they're getting a bit long in the tooth, they are our modern day soap operas. Outside of like what my parents grew up on, which was, or not my parents, my dad doesn't watch soaps. My mother, she was always big on she was the ABC soap girl. So she would watch Ryan's Hope, All My Children, Loving, One Life to Live, General Hospital, which is the only one that's still on. And remember The City, which was a spinoff of Ryan's Hope, and they went a little supernatural with it. And then remember Passions, because they were trying to I think they were competing with Passions when they went in that at that time. And I used to love me some Passions. Child Miguel was one, because I love me some Jesse Metcalf, and then the other one, Timmy. Timmy was a cackle. May he rest in peace. But overall, with that, Those are my, I remember growing up watching those soaps as a kid. But then when I got to be older, it was always about the Housewives and Basketball Wives and all those other type of shows. Now I feel like a lot of those shows are long in the tooth. And it seemed like to me, based on this trailer, um, the Housewives of Atlanta was definitely a little long in the tooth. I wasn't that excited. I've seen some people in the comments said, Lord, they said, child, please bring Nene back. And another person said, as a RHOA fan, Portia will carry, but the trailer didn't give excitement, no standout shade or nothing. People may hate Kenya for whatever, but she brought the shade and the drama for the show. I'm interested to see what really caused its two sides to every story. And the person that wrote that, I think her name was A Marie_2U. That's how I remotely feel about the trailer, is that yeah, it didn't really stand out to me. It was like, okay, no shade, but you can say what you want about Kenya, but Kenya brought the drama to the show, and that's what I live for. So I feel like what I'm gonna actually do, because I don't know how you do the Real Housewives. You only got one cast member that's a wife on the show, and that'd be the one that's married to the athlete. So I feel like they give a synopsis of what everybody's going or what everybody's been up to, but I don't even think y'all care, nor do I. So we ain't even going to talk about it. They'll probably break it down when the season comes on. But for the most part, um, like I said, I just like the other person said, even when I said I'm not overly excited about the trailer, it didn't really excite me. I'm like, okay. Like you could have mixed it in with the fun and the shade. Show us what the shade. I don't think what you want us to sit and wait and watch the show. And I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna actually go in. I'm gonna watch the show up until y'all find Kenya, and I'll be done. Because that's what it's been with the past 4 seasons of the Housewives. As the previous 4 seasons, I would go and watch maybe 3, 4 episodes, and then I bail because I'm not that interested. And if y'all think, and I like Phaedra is good TV, but if you feel like Phaedra can save this show, I don't even think she can save this show at this point. I really feel like it's either bring Nene Leakes back to the show, back up the Brinks truck, bring some interesting girls on there, because, and I would say even like Sheree, but Sheree is so damn boring. Sheree was never bringing it with the girls. Um, if you can't bring Nene, or and even though I don't want her to come back, can y'all bring Kim back up in there? At least Kim got stuff going on. If y'all not gonna bring them back, then let's just cancel Atlanta, because quiet as it's kept, the only Housewives franchise that I care about at this point that's really giving me my life is Beverly Hills. I don't particularly care for Potomac. I could never really get into them. Um, what else is going on in regards of? Oh, I almost forgot to mention. You know who would be good to come on the show? Um, and she was talking about it earlier because I saw her on a show where I think it was oh my god, what was the damn channel? It was Page Six. She sat down for a Page Six interview. T.S. Madison. T.S. Madison did an interview with Page Six, and she was talking about how she said she was pitching herself for the Housewives. She said she was also on Married to Medicine. Married to Medicine, I haven't watched it because Heavenly's a mess. So I'd be watching because she loves being messy on that damn show. But T.S. Madison has made appearances on it, and she said that she would love to be on as a housewife. And look, sometimes it comes down to it. We homosexuals or LGBTs always got to be the ones that save y'all shows from being dry and boring as hell. Even though, according to Andy Cohen, men aren't entertaining. No, straight men aren't entertaining. The gays will definitely bring the drama. And you should know that because you a messy damn queen. So I don't even know why he wouldn't even bring them on. And so Maddie said that she would love to come on as the first trans housewife and even pitch herself. First of all, she got a lot going on. She got Fact Talk with Craig, the writer, not Greg, Craig, in case y'all didn't hear me say it correctly. Y'all can show her filming that in her house. Y'all can show her traveling to her many a gigs like RuPaul's Drag Race and all that other stuff, which she's on there. So she is booked and busy. And plus, she can come and kiki with the girls and be entertaining. I'm not necessarily saying she got to be messy. She could be the Bose of the season, as in Bose, who's on Bazoma, who's on St. John, who's over there on Beverly Hills. She's giving me my life over there. I'm loving how demure and sophisticated she is on that show. So everybody on the Housewives don't always have to be messy, but you can come in and give entertainment. And one thing that TS will do is entertain the children down boots. So I would say, like, yeah, bring her in for that. But I don't know what Andy thinking about it because I heard allegedly, based off of what they were talking about in that interview, Carmen Carrera's been filming Real Housewives of Miami. We don't know to what magnitude, but she might be ending up coming up on that show. So Miami might be getting a first trans girl up on the show. So I just thought I'd bring that up. But I would definitely love to see T.S. Madison join the cast because with all them sissies and punks that living in Atlanta, I'm surprised you don't have no trans girls on your show. She got money. She's wealthy. She's rich. I should say, I'll say rich. And she could bring the drama. So I say all this to say, did y'all see the trailer of The Real Housewives of Atlanta? What did y'all think? Are y'all feeling like I am? Like y'all were just like, meh, it was all right. Nothing didn't move the needle. Not all that excited. If it comes on, I'll watch, but it's not like I'm, oh my God, it's so much CTV. I must rush to my television and watch this show. So whatever your or it was like, were you excited? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Speaking of comments, I'm like, damn, we got a lot of comments. He said, if she did what Tina did, and what's love got to do with it? I mean, well, Tina did write a book, so they had that to go off of. So, man, I would love the biopic from her. It's funny because I think Rolling Stone, and I think I sent that to the group chat. Rolling Stone did an article on people whose biopics they would love to see, or a book, not even a biopic, like a book they would like to write on their life. And they said Madonna, they said Bruce Springsteen, they said a couple of people, even I think Mick Jagger. That Mick Jagger is an octogenarian. He would be perfect to have up in making a movie or a book. Because I always thought Bowie became a background thought in the 80s after having great success in the 70s, where a lot of his classic stuff is from. Yeah. So you said, oh yeah. So Madonna, Freddie, Michael, and yeah, Freddie Mercury. I could definitely see that from Queen. Because you're right. David Bowie wasn't really popping in the 80s. Yeah, he did a couple of things where it was like he did that. He did like the 80s synth pop and jumped in the whole MTV thing. But yeah, his career was a lot bigger in the 70s, and he always kept changing up his persona. So it was always hard to like pinpoint him. Katy Perry says all shows of her upcoming tour starts at 7 p.m. and will end at 8:45 is due to her daughter Daisy, and because Daisy made her realize ending shows past 11 p.m. and beyond. That is overrated, and parents come first. If you're not a parent or aren't, well, look, it'll be fine by me. If when she do her tour, that she could just come in and it be early, and it's the summertime, so that's great. Like we've had shows that started early. I work many early shows, so I'm here for that. I'm trying to remember who was it that there was an artist that I had whose show I did. I forgot. I think it was it was 2 days. There was one that they did a night show, and then the next show was like at I think 12 in the afternoon or 1 o'clock. So yeah, it's been done before. So I don't feel bad if they decide to do it early. She wants to be done early. So I'm here for it as long as she don't have an opening act. So I love how Kenya isn't in the promo pic. Yeah, I know you don't like Kenya. Except Portia Cynthia Phaedra look good, gay. I mean, good. Shout out to Laganja. It says the new girls are yeah. I was that's why I wasn't that excited. I wasn't really feeling them girls. Speaking of Tina Turner, I would love a second biopic that chronicles her life after What's Love Got to Do with It ends, a sequel of sorts. Yeah, and then maybe Angela finally get her damn Oscar. I love Passion, the guy who played Louisa. Oh yeah, yeah. Whatever happened to him? Isn't he on another soap? I think he was on I don't know if he's still on there though. I think he went to like Days of Our Lives or something. I thought it was raining. So they need to bring Nene back if they want this franchise to survive. When one of the three OG girls leave, they lose a percentage of their orders. And at this point, it's like I don't think Portia is enough to keep people interested in this franchise. I just don't think people care enough about Miss Portia. Maddie will be great for on RHOA as long as she doesn't bring. Yo, I want to know this. Why do people not like Craig? I know people just be throwing shade at Craig. Craig, I sort of, I was watching late before because I was putting the show together. Um, I was watching their latest episode, which I think they came out with yesterday while we were actually live. They were doing their live. No, Candy left. Candy left last season. And then that's when they brought in Portia. Because Portia accused. Oh wait, I was gonna say, in case you don't, well, you say you never watched, so you don't really know. But when Portia and Kenny was on the show, Portia accused, and this is because of Phaedra running around with that lie. She accused Candy and Candy husband of drugging and sexually assaulting, and trying to get her to come to her dungeon. They try to accuse Portia of doing, well, he was drugging Portia and trying to get her to come to their sex dungeon. That was the rumor that was going on. And there was like a big situation that happened. And I think that was the cause of them firing Phaedra. So then when all this thing happened, when they got rid of Kenya, because of the situation that happened, they were grasping at straws and trying to figure out how they were going to save the season. So they had to literally go in and, I guess, back up the Brinks truck for for Phaedra to come in and save the franchise. But based off that trailer, it don't look like it's a whole lot saving any of them did to us watching that, because I feel like it's going to be mid. But we'll see. Craig just says a lot of stuff out his ass. How he talks about non-binary people is disgusting. How he always brings up being from Harvard to outsmart people in the comments. A lot of people don't like him. Oh yeah, that's why Maddie said what she said yesterday, because she was like looking for the big word to use against him, of how he comes across. And the word was elitist. She was basically saying like he comes across very elitist in a lot of the way he speaks and stuff. But I thought people did like him, because her when they be traveling around the world with Fag Talk, the show does really well. And people be excited about it, and people go in and it's sold out. Or maybe is it because it's Maddie, so they go there to see her, but they tolerate Craig. But yeah, it does find, I do find it annoying that when people go into my, oh yeah, I'm very educated. It's kind of like, why a lot of people don't like him, why people don't like Sonny Hostin, and why people always kind of thumb their nose at, like when we talk about on this show a lot of these college educated people who walk around snobby and thinking, oh, because they have a degree that makes them smart. I'm like, you know how many people I know with degrees and just be dumb as a box of rocks? So a degree don't mean nothing. And we've already known that, like, yeah, a lot of people out here running around with degrees and can't get a good damn job. So the paper ain't worth nothing, ain't worth the tissue I wipe my ass with. Quiet as it's kept. But I do agree with that a lot of times that does rub people the wrong way. But I'm like, look, I don't be thinking about all of that. I'm comfortable enough in my level of intelligence and critical thinking that Craig can say whatever the hell he want. I don't pay it no mind. But I understand people feel the way with some of the stuff that he says. You're stupid. You say he has a Howard degree, but is someone's sidekick on an internet show. That's why they gave Serena Chacha so much shit on season 5. Well, yeah, but then again, there were certain things she was saying. I'm like, I wanted to turn into Tamisha Iman, even though she came season later. Little girl, shut up, little girl. Like, I wanted to be very that. When I would go back and watch old episodes, now that I've seen the Tamisha Iman season, where she was going in on Candy Muse, I was just like, even then, I was just like, Serena don't know what the hell she talking about in regards of like trying to throw around the education, because you were just like, it just came across as very ignorant in a lot of stuff that she was saying. I'm sure she's matured. Anyway, I said, where we going? Oh, I got another comment. Please hold. And he said, oh, well, oh, yeah. Don't try it, little boy. Oh, yeah, that was that, too. Coco Montrese is a cackle. But I don't want to see her in Vegas one of these days. Okay, so, hold on. I was like, where? Let me take that out. All right, so we got 4 more topics left until we wrap the show. So before we get to those topics, if you can do me a solid and hit the like button and that subscribe button, and also be sure to smash the notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. And there will be timestamps put in later on in the show if y'all don't want to get caught up in all the banter that we do during the live chat. So just letting you know, just a reminder. Now, without further ado, let's get into our next topic and let's talk about my girl, Wendy Williams. How you doing? So we got the latest on Miss Wendy, and it looks like she has fired her court-appointed attorney for not, filing the paperwork to get the ball rolling on this trial by jury because she's ready to get up out of this goddamn guardianship. And it seems like this court-appointed lawyer is dragging her damn feet. And Wendy's like, oh, bitch, this is my life. Why? What are you doing? Like, I'm not trying to be cooped up in this place. And I'm glad that she's well enough, because y'all keep saying this, that she's incapacitated. Like she in a bed drooling. Don't remember who the hell she is. But we've seen her recently in the recent interviews, and she seems copacetic. She seems well aware. I mean, I do believe that maybe there is some damage to her from all the drinking and stuff that she's done, as well as all her other ailments. But for the most part, she's well aware of where she is and who she is and her family and all that other stuff. And I feel like at this point, she should be around her family. And I don't think she needs to be in this guardianship. So, sources told TMZ on Wednesday that Williams terminated her court-appointed attorney, Linda Redlinsky, after she failed to file paperwork to get the ball rolling on a trial by jury. The former talk show host, who's 60, reportedly told Redlinsky she wanted the trial to decide whether or not she needed the guardianship, but her attorney reportedly declined her request. Reps for Wendy did not immediately respond to Page Six's request for comment. The firing comes less than 2 weeks after Williams' family said they were looking for an esteemed and honest attorney to help the former radio star. The former talk show host also previously claimed she had never met her guardianship attorney, Robert Kaplan, who previously alleged she needed a lifelong care due to her frontal temporal dementia and aphasia diagnosis. So now Williams has been fighting to get out of the conservatorship, which she claims has left her with next to nothing. The media personality is currently living in an assisted living facility in New York City, which she likened to a luxury prison. Now, earlier this month, Williams called into the Breakfast Club to share her side of the story after her niece revealed she was trapped in a care center. Now, Williams called their conservatorship emotional abuse, claiming they took her pets away and limited her internet access. She said, I am not cognitively impaired, but I feel like I'm in prison. I'm definitely isolated. To talk to these people who live in here, that is not my cup of tea. I keep the door closed, she said of her day-to-day activities. I watch TV, I listen to the radio, I watch the window, I sit here, and my life goes by. Now, Williams claims she only has $15 to her name due to legal situation. Now, days after the interview, insiders told the Post that Williams believes her court-appointed guardian, Sabrina Morrissey, is taking advantage of her. And I do believe I have a picture of the attorney who is, taking advantage of this situation. Yeah, that's her. That's the attorney that Wendy fired. She said they've taken away everything from her. This is what the source shared, comparing the situation to Britney Spears. Now, a New York judge placed Wendy under guardianship in 2022 amid her financial and health woes. At the time, her bank, Wells Fargo, suggested she was an incapacitated person and was subject to undue influence and financial exploitation. And while Williams voluntarily entered the agreement to protect her assets, one of her former lawyers suggested she may not have fully understood the situation. So I do feel like, you know what? If Wendy feels at a point that, look, I do feel like she's going to need care for the rest of her life. That just goes without saying, especially with all the ailments and things that she has that's going on. So she definitely needs to have the best doctors. She definitely needs to have the someone there to care for her, like maybe a home health aide or something or another. She could have somebody there to help her with that. But as far as her being in this guardianship, I can understand why they're saying like maybe she needs a guardianship because with her with the dementia and stuff, there's going to be people coming in and out of her life, taking advantage of her and spending up all her damn money. And that's why what the fears and stuff are. But you know what? If she feels and her family feels that this is not something that they want, and she has proven that she's putting in the work to get herself healthy and better mentally and spiritually and physically, then why can't y'all just grant her this thing? Why can't you just, as an attorney, get the paperwork rolling to get her out of the care of this government prison and surrounded by people who genuinely care about her? Now, If it becomes a situation similar to Britney Spears, was like, oh, see, y'all wanted her to be free. Y'all wanted her out of this conservatorship. You didn't want her to have to be in this situation no more. And you wanted her to get to a place that and she ends up getting taken advantage of. Then you want to know something? That's just a bridge that she's going to have to cross and deal with. Because, you know what I always say, be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. Or was it Nicole Scherzinger that sang that in a song? So, if this is what she wants, let her have it. But then they got to realize, like, if she does get it taken advantage of by her own family, those are the repercussions on her actions, because that's what she wants. She doesn't want to be in this luxurious prison. She wants to be surrounded by her family and friends. She wants to be with her father, especially because you know that's going to be a thing where her father, who's in his 90s, if he passes away, then he's got to, you know, that's going to be some emotional stuff that she's got to deal with also. And for her being isolated, that's only going to make her situation worse. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story and the latest development on Wendy Williams and this battle for her to get out of this crazy guardianship? So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. It said, girl, anti-trans activist Riley Gaines' husband could be deported. Good for her. It says seeking to use her white privilege. Well, we'll see how that turns out. I just find this stuff a cackle. These little things y'all be trying to grift on top of, and then y'all see this stuff come to bite y'all in the behind. All right, let's talk about the Kardashians, because apparently there's a story going around that they around here using Timothée Chalamet. I like messing with his name. And they say they basically trying to use this poor boy to keep their brand going. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, they just recently showed the trailer for the new season of the Kardashians. They were like, "Did you miss me? Or did you miss us?" I'm like, "Hell, fucking no! I don't like you broads." But apparently, y'all always coming up on our radar, so we got to talk about it. So, in what seems like a reality show plotline come to life, the Kardashian clan is reportedly going to extreme lengths to keep A-list actor Timothée Chalamet in their orbit, all in a bid to revive their flagging brand. But while the Kardashians are pushing hard to maintain a relationship, sources reveal that Chalamet is already showing signs of losing interest in his reality star girlfriend, Kylie Jenner. And this is according to Radar Online, so let's take this with a grain of salt. So Hollywood Golden Boy, Chalamet, brought the not bubble lipped, fashion mogul to the Golden Globes this year, but insiders reveal she's starting to feel out of her league, especially after getting snubbed by former star Demi Moore at her own table. So yeah, there's a different type of I was gonna say age bracket. I don't even think age bracket gotta have with it's levels to this. So it's like while Kim Kardashian and them be trying to buy their way into these rooms with these elites, it's like, girl, y'all are just gonna be the girl that just spread your legs for the latest black dude and having a bunch of damn babies and you being a prostitution whore on a horrible amateur video with Ray J. Like that's always gonna be your claim to fame. I don't care how many times you try to hobnob with this person or you doing this thing with Ryan Murphy or whatever the case is, or how many seasons of your reality show that you do. It's like you will never be able to escape that. And yeah, y'all can rub noses with the Demi Moores and the Bradley Coopers and the Tom Cruises and the, you know, and all these other alias elites, but no amount of money in the world is going to make you be on the same level as those people, even if you fucking with somebody that's on that level, like a Timothée Chalamet, who was just nominated for an Oscar. So they said Demi had a long chat with Timothée, a completely unknown co-star Elle Fanning, and didn't even acknowledge that Kylie was there. Kylie was so humiliated. Kylie is under strict orders from her family to make it work no matter what, the insider said. Her relationship with Timothée is bringing them some desperately needed clout. They said she's being told to ignore any talk about his wandering eye and keep things sweet. Manipulative Kardashian momager. Can't. Y'all are shady with this, but I'm living for every moment and every word. Manipulative Kardashian momager Kris Jenner is said to be well aware that having the hottest actor in Hollywood on Kylie's arm is a marketing bonanza for the family's sputtering brand, saying the Kardashians are losing steam in pop culture. They don't get anywhere the number of viewers they used to, and there's a feeling the public is over them. A feeling? I mean, to be honest, I think most of America, of the people are over them. It's just y'all, I guess, are under contract with Hulu, so you're just there, and people just like, okay, whatever. But I don't think people are overtly excited about anything Kardashian brand. So, and I don't even know, like, if they did this show, if Timothée is even on this upcoming season of the Kardashians. Remember when Kim and Kanye were together, and she had Kanye up on the show, and we see what happened to Kanye. The one thing we don't want for Timothée to happen to him, like, as his career is finally on the right. Well, over the years, his career has been kind of getting pretty big, but now he's at a space where it's like he's in Hollywood, like in that whole A-list situation, and he's gotten the success. And every movie he touches is like Oscar buzz, great accolades on his performances. Like critics love him. He's got a lot of fans. But yeah, the whole Kylie attachment, I feel like, is a stain on his situation. Now, do I think this Radar Online story is true in regards to them, the Kardashians trying to use him for clout? I don't put none past them broads. So I could even sit here and think, okay, this sounds so far fetched with this show, in regards to this story talking about the Kardashians, but I don't put none past them broads, like I said. So there could be some truth to this, especially since I feel like Pimp Mama Chris looks at every moment and opportunity as some sort of branding thing or some bragging rights. Oh yeah, my daughter is dating this one and that one and blah blah blah. All that mess. I don't think there's any love for any of these people that they be up anyway. I feel like everything is all about marketing and how they look in the eyes of the public. So they said the Kardashians first tried to sink their claws into Chalamet when he joined the family on a lavish trip to Italy in the summer of 2023, where sources said Chris and Kylie's big sis, Kim, continually fawned over him. And they haven't let up. When Timothée brought Kylie to the December premiere of A Complete Unknown, Chris made sure to tag along. Chris was stuck to Timothée like a barnacle and making a very big show of it, the insider added. She's clearly hell-bent on milking this connection to him as much as she can. Well, child, it ain't about you. It's about him. And I kind of like that in so many ways, that they keep their relationship kind of under wraps or whatever. Like, that is not being shoved in our face all the time, like Taylor and Travis. But I don't put nothing past them other broads that they want to, that by association, they want to latch on to whatever it is that they got over here. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Do y'all believe this story in regards of the Kardashian clan or Kardashian, these leeches, these black widows are running around here trying to, you know, dick ride without actually dick riding him? Because first of all, he's white. So, that's already like you know, a cross situation when it comes to the Kardashian broads. Some of them, not all of them. But do y'all believe this story in regards of the fact that they trying to dick ride off of Timothée Chalamet to be getting in that, become a part of the A-list elite? It's like, yeah, y'all bought y'all way into the situation, but y'all not really like accepted. And buying your way into a room is way different than actually people being in the room and generally being like, you know what, you are one of us because you worked your ass to get into this room and you have the talent and you're amongst the A-list elite. You just A-list in name only. And because y'all got the money and wherewithal to be able to put yourselves in that room. But as far as like the talent goes, sis, none of y'all have it except the men that y'all be, spreading your legs for. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay. He said the Kardashians have lost their hold on the culture ever since Kim left Kanye and Kylie left the public consciousness. They've just been has-beens, to be honest. It doesn't help their shows on Hulu. Yeah, because I'm like, who's watching that? And quiet as it's kept, them numbers really wasn't popping when they were on the other channel. When they were on E, their numbers was on the decline. Their hold on pop culture was on the decline. So this has been, this has been going on for a while now. I don't think it was just something that all of a sudden everybody had this revelation. I feel like this has just been a thing that's been going on for a while, and people are just now, and it seems like we just keep going on this merry-go-round and talking about it consistently. So you said clips from their show don't even go viral or talked about. Yeah, the only time I hear about if stuff is talked about with them is if it's on one of those shows like The View or one of those things. They're the only ones that's talking about it. But if you're talking about like viral moments like on TikTok or any other place, I don't really feel anybody really talks about them unless it's something that really stands out. And then I know it'll pop up on like the neighborhood talk or one of those things. That did happen a couple of times last season. But for the most part, everybody be in the comments about, oh, child, why y'all still putting these girls down? I thought, like, can y'all give it a rest? That's what it feels like. They don't want the tea up in there because a lot of people don't really care about the Kardashians. But I guess because they're who they are, they got to keep like trying to shove them. They keep trying to make fetch happen at this point. Not to be shady, but Timothée doesn't even seem like the type of guy Kylie would go. No, it's not shady. I thought the same thing. It's just like I always look at Timothée Chalamet and I'm like, really? You with her? I mean, I believed it when you was with Lourdes. Who, sidebar, Lourdes, girl, I love you. And I remember you when you was little. But sis, why you at Fashion Week with your titties out? Some people say she take after her mama. And maybe she does. Didn't Lola kick Kylie out of Marc Jacobs' fashion show? Madonna's daughter is more elite and has the power to kick her out. The tables have turned. Probably. Timothée needs to be in the trailer for the upcoming fifth season if they want a ratings increase. Yeah. And we didn't see him, so he probably wasn't even there. And maybe Kylie put her foot down and was like, no, I'm not risking my relationship with my boyfriend for y'all to have some moment on y'all channel or to get people to tune into y'all show. I find ironic that Kylie left Travis once he stopped being the biggest in university like rapper, replaced by Playboy Cardi. Well, it's always clout with them, so that's why I said it's like that. Not that far fetched for me to believe that there could be some truth to that. Remember, they called the robbery a stunt. Bruce being trans as a stunt, and Kylie's pregnancies a stunt. Some of them I believe, but I'm glad they've shown that the robbery was a real event. The robbery actually wasn't real because I actually thought in the beginning that okay, y'all go pulling stunts. I mean, look, I even thought the same thing with Dorit over there at the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills that it could have been a stunt. But then again, it probably was a setup, and I think this is what was alluded to. I don't want to put words in Garcelle's mouth, but I feel like she was alluding to the fact that maybe PK probably pulled a stunt for a robbery to go down at the house and didn't know that Dorit was going to be in the house with the kids, and then she was put in harm's way because she begged them to leave the thing like the phone or whatever, and they did at the outside of the house. I'm like, oh, we got robbers with a heart of gold. Where they do that at? So I feel like there was something that some people feel like PK may have allegedly set up that situation so that way he could file an insurance claim. There'd be like insurance fraud and all that stuff that be going on when things get stolen from your house. Okay. And like I said, everything don't last forever. It's kind of like when we were talking about the Housewives being long in the tooth. I feel like the Kardashian show is long in the tooth. Y'all need to just go away and do y'all brand stuff. And that's that. The reality show thing, I just don't think people care as much anymore. Absolutely. The Kardashian curse is in full effect. Be mad, but it comes with the territory of the family. How could you not see why we thought it was a stunt when ratings went down? A stunt happened to bring numbers. Yeah, and that's a lot of times what they do in here. Because I was watching something earlier, and they were talking about the sneak peek for RuPaul's Drag Race was subsequently removed from the internet because somebody went in and exposed an edit that they were like, what? They could tell if somebody did some choppy edit where they made it seem like Anya Nerve was asking people about a challenge or whatever. It was like, okay, nobody's who wants the parts? Everybody's doing this, and they said there was a little triangle that was on where the pillow was, and then they put like a cut in to make it seem like the girls was pretty much ignoring Anya Nerve, and then they took a bit from some other part of the show and they interjected it in there to make it seem like the girls is being mean towards her. So there's a whole lot of editing and and manipulation that a lot of these producers and stuff do to try to get us to watch when it didn't happen the way that they put it out there. And they got busted. And apparently they took down the episode, the sneak peek. And it's funny because a friend of mine was asking, he said, you wanna watch the sneak peek? I was like, no, I want to be surprised. I don't for some reason this season, I don't want to just go in and just start watching stuff. I'll just watch the sneak peek when it comes. I mean, I'll watch the episode when it comes out tomorrow. Oh, you said, well, they were so desperate. Oh, yeah, I remember that. I remember they brought her on because we talked about it on the show. I just didn't care enough to watch. I think the comments from Kim about working were the bubble bursting moment, where she's so out of touch. It already feels like the Northwest is being propped to be Gen Alpha's big influence. Oh, they all trying to do it with all them kids. They try to do it with Northwest. They trying to do it with Mason. But I think Mason at one point was talking a little too much and too reckless on social media. And then you got Dream Kardashian. They got her with an Instagram and posting things up on there. That's what I was thinking because they have North on a lot more often. And North is shady. I've been seeing clips of her when I see like Entertainment. Oh yeah, that was another one. Like Entertainment Tonight and Extra, all of them with they outdated ass shows. I'm surprised they didn't get canceled. Like they canceled Dish Nation. Because I heard that they can't. Well, Robert told me that they canceled Dish Nation, and I'm like, I'm kind of glad because I never particularly cared for that show. I always thought they were outdated with a lot of their stuff too. And I know a lot of y'all thought about blowing up the show by bringing on Funky Dineva and then Tamar Braxton and stuff. That was going to elevate the show, but it don't seem like people cared enough. Her comment about Kim Met Gala look with the pro. Oh yeah, she said it looked beachy. Yeah, she was. That's why I said Northwest is messy. That's why we live for her because she's not gonna bite her tongue when it comes to talking about her mother. I noticed that in the Untucked episode where Anya stole those rhinestones, they added a clip of Jules saying something shady, but didn't show her face saying it. They want Anya to be the villain. They trying to paint her as the villain, but we know who the real villains of the show are. And they her. I'm trying to think who was that. Well, Joella was being messy, and she was giving very much delusional. And I love the fact that she clapped back at what the hell's her name? Naysha Lopez, because Naysha Lopez went on Roscoe's the other day and was about, oh, I just think that's really disgusting, or whatever the case. I'm paraphrasing. That she went and said, oh, I'm not. At least I'm not going out a local girl or something or another. And basically, it was a riff on something Selena as Titty said. And it's funny because a friend of mine even told me that because he knows Selena. So he was telling me we were having that conversation, and he was telling me that that was kind of like a play on that. But of course, I guess because English ain't Naysha's first damn language, that she took it to a whole completely different place. And Joella had to get on social media and debunk a lot of what Naysha was saying. I thought about making that a topic today. It's funny, I should have left it open because here I am talking about it. I used to watch Dish Nation at midnight all the time. Well, yeah, if you need a way to go to sleep, watch Dish Nation. No shade, or maybe this might be a little shade, but you know what's been helping me go directly to sleep a lot lately? When I watch Drag Race Canada, it was like watching those seasons. I was like, I would literally watch the first, like, put it on 10 minutes and I'm knocked out. I don't know if it's either I'm really tired or it's just that show is tired. I mean, it must be. It only got 9 episodes this season. Like, who does it on a reality show, especially in its 5th season? 9 episodes? Okay. But anyway, let's get into this Justin Baldoni story. Now, did any of y'all know that there was a Pac-Man movie in the works with Justin Baldoni? I had no idea. Now, I think I did hear something about a Pac-Man movie, but I didn't know he was attached. Maybe because I wasn't familiar with the name until all this drama started coming out regarding Justin Baldoni. So now that his name is on the radar, we've been talking about him more, and now we've been paying further attention. So yeah, they're saying his ongoing battle with Blake Lively has begun to affect some of his future planned projects. And this is according to The Hollywood Reporter. So the filmmaker, who's 41, whose case with the Gossip Girl alum is set to go to trial next year on March 9th, was set to produce the upcoming project based on the popular video game under the development of his Wayfarer Studios. But last month, on December 21st, Lively accused Baldoni of harassment and launching a smear campaign against her in a bombshell lawsuit. Now, Justin, who has since countersued both Blake and her husband Ryan Reynolds for a whopping $400 million, was soon dropped by WME agency as well as his Wayfarer Studios. Now, sources have now told the Hollywood Reporter that Baldoni has already lost 3 jobs and hundreds of millions of dollars. Justin and his production company depended on WME to aid with packaging the film, and those currently partner with Wayfarer are having a conversation. Now, Wayfarer was Justin founded with Steve Sarowitz, notably financed, developed, and produced the adaptation of Colleen Hoover's novel It Ends With Us. Now, the movie, as you know, was made on a budget of $25 million because we talked about it on the show, and it grossed $351 million at the global box office, with Baldoni and Lively taking on the leading roles in the movie. The company is adapting other books amid the lawsuits, such as Christy Greenwood's The Love of My Afterlife, per the Hollywood Reporter. Wayfarer has additional projects under his belt since being dropped from WME, including Eleanor the Great, which is Scarlett Johansson's directorial debut. Excuse me. The live-action Pac-Man movie, based on the 1980s arcade game, has been in development since 2022 from Bandai Namco Entertainment. Justin is currently said to be one of the film's producers, despite the future in question. Meanwhile, Blake and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, are escalating their legal battle with her former co-star Baldoni by doubling down on the request of a gag order. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff. We already filled you in on all that, but I was like, I had no idea they were going to make a Pac-Man movie. But then again, if they could make a movie on Sonic, if they could make a He-Man movie, if they could make a movie on all these other games and all this other stuff, then why would we be surprised if they would make and then if they make a movie on Barbie, then yeah, they could make a movie on Pac-Man. But I wonder how they're going to develop that. I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But for the most part, it's like, yeah. I had no idea about this. It Ends With Us. I don't know what the subject matter was, but it made a shit ton of money. $351 million is nothing to sneeze at. To gross at the global box office with a $25 million budget. So Justin is out here balling with all this money in his situation, but because he's losing so many jobs and all this other stuff, like that money is just dissipating. So this is kind of like something that's been in my head, which is like, well, damn, how is he going to survive out here in these streets if y'all are going to pretty much be like he's losing all these jobs? And this is based off of allegations. But then again, Blake Lively has also been hit with allegations. Where's her repercussions? Where's she going to be losing jobs and things of that nature? Or does she have nothing lined up? Because I don't think it's fair in so many ways that he has a right to countersue if somebody is coming out with allegations against him. But why is he the only one being punished and she's not? Especially off of certain things that he's accusing her of. I'm not saying like, yeah, we shouldn't believe women and we should automatically go in and abuse, go in and go against the woman. But at the same time, if he's going to get the lashings and stuff, why is it only a one-sided thing? And I feel like this is why we are where we are in this country today, is because y'all are so quick to go after one person and not hold everybody accountable in this situation. So she needs to suffer some bits too. And I guess maybe she is suffering at the hands of the fact that people aren't buying her low products that she was trying to hawk while promoting this film. So maybe that's where her repercussions is coming from instead of the studios jumping in. Or is it because she's married to Ryan Reynolds and he's one of the most powerful people in Hollywood right now because of Deadpool and Wolverine? So now people don't want to go in too hard on her because then Ryan will probably pitch a damn fit. And Justin Baldoni, who's relatively new to the game and just had this huge hit and his career's on the rise, that he doesn't have much of a leg to stand on because of his status. Because he's no Ryan Reynolds in regards of power. Because it seems to be that seems to be the only thing people understand is like your level of power and how much influence you have and how many friends in high places that you have and how many people and all that other stuff. That takes credence over, the other thing, the alternative. So yeah, there's that with this story. And I ask all of you this, for those of you who may not, for whatever your thoughts are, What do you guys think of this story in regards of Justin Baldoni? Like, since these allegations came out, it's like a lot of ideas and a lot of programs that he has that's supposed to be coming up is in jeopardy. And, you know, with him losing his agency, dropping him, and all these projects and stuff that they said that he's been losing out on is pretty much dissipating. So it seems like that he's getting a lick of he's taking the punishment, in my opinion. And I just feel like, I don't know if he's guilty of certain things. I feel like both sides have a part to play in all the mess, but I don't think that one person's, it just feels like the suffering is one-sided. So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. We got some comments. Speaking of which, said Nature being bitter, she got eliminated in 3 out of in 3 out of 5 of the Drag Race episodes. She's been in her usual. She wouldn't be saying all that if she made it further on the show. Don't forget the Alanis Morissette story. I didn't add that to the thing, but yeah, there was a thing about Alanis Morissette and Ryan Reynolds. Howard Stern is so damn shady because he went in and made a comment about what was it? He made a comment or something about, he's like, I don't know who this Ryan Reynolds person is and all that other stuff. And that's what she was dating at the time. And there was like something that happened to like, what was it? Was it 2008 or 1998? I'll have to look for the story. For it to make sense because it was 2008. That's what it was. So there was like a video that she posted, and what was it? So they said there was a viral TikTok video of her on Howard Stern. She opened up about how the breakup influenced her album at the time, admitting to Stern that she was initially not okay with the split. But I think I have the clip for y'all. No, that's the Daily Mail story. Let me see if I can pull up the ticket, okay? Yep, I do have it. Hold on. Because I hate when things start and then my TikToks are all opening. Well, I'll be forgetting to close it. So I was like, well, since it's here, might as well play the clip.
Mm-hmm. I never heard of this guy, Ryan Reynolds. Mm-hmm. I don't know who he is. Mm-hmm. He's a nobody. It's probably better because then there's no comments. No, really. I mean, who is he? I didn't know anything about it. When you were in love with him, I didn't like it. I thought the guy was a douchebag. Are there angry songs on here where, you know, Dave Coulier, we learned was a douchebag? No, and judgments abounding this morning. No, but I mean, you have to admit you're at your best when you go through a breakup. As emotionally painful as it is, you were engaged. There's two life forces that create worlds in music. Go ahead. Infatuation or joy or whatever the juicy ones. In other words, the meeting of somebody new, the pure joy of a new relationship, getting it from a new guy. Go ahead, yes. Hype. Right. And then the pain. The pain. Anger. Anger's good too. In a way, don't you compliment these men too much by writing songs about how hurt you were? But these songs aren't about them. They're about me getting it out of my body so I don't get sick. Yeah, but a guy sees it as though, they can see it however they want to see it. He's Ryan Reynolds running around, boy, I gave it to her so good. She wrote a whole album and she can't get over it. He and Scarlett sit and listen to it. Yeah. By the way, he hooked up with this Scarlett Johansson. Mm-hmm. You know, right away she had to come out with a music album. Do you know this? I heard. You heard? Did you hear the music? No. It's awful. Oh. I'm going to play a little for you, and you tell me, and I want your honest opinion. I'm not giving any opinions about it. It's none of my business. You don't comment on it? I don't comment. You know what? I read that you have said that you had to go to therapy 5 days a week, and I'm no one to throw stones. Believe me, I'm there. You go to therapy? Oh. 5 days a week? For a while, it was 5 days a week. When you announce that you went to a psychiatrist for 5 days a week to get over this guy, it gives the guy too much power. It's not about the guy, dude. It's about me. Yeah, but I don't like Did she have to go 5 days a week over Ryan Reynolds? Is that what you're saying? For this Ryan Reynolds is nobody? It's not for anybody. Oh, come on. It isn't. I bet you can't even watch reruns of Two Guys in a Pizza Place. So what happened? Tell me what's going on with you. You're beautiful. You are talented. You're rich. You were engaged. As though rich exempts me from all humanity. But weren't they engaged? You were engaged. You were engaged. I was. So what? He comes home and announces he's with another broad? No. How does that all work? Pregnant positive. Tell me, Alanis, what's going on? So you're telling me right away you were fine with this?
No.
No. You were not fine.
You were heard the record.
Did it blindside you, or did you kind of see this coming? You saw it coming. You prepared yourself for this. Do you think he's the kind of guy that does a movie right away, he falls in love with the next person he's with? Is that the kind of thing?
I can't speak for him. I have no idea.
I don't think he and Scarlett Johansson have done a movie together, have they?
I don't know.
No, she's in a good movie.
Pregnant pause.
So I think they did do a movie together, and I think the album was supposed former infatuation junkie. I think that was the album that she wrote about Ryan Reynolds. So yeah, there's a little bit of that where she went on Howard Stern and was talking about, you know, all the stuff that was going on with her breakup with him. So yeah, that video started surfacing amid all this other drama. Onyx says, I just remember that Kim was, I forgot about that too, actually. Oh yeah, I definitely want to see that. I saw that trailer for that the other day. I was like, okay, that at least a Lifetime movie, and Lisa Velez actually produced it. So I'm like, oh, I definitely want to see that. And funny enough, Bow-Legged Lou from Full Force is one of my close friends' son's godfather. So it's funny how the whole connection goes. Shout out to Alex. But so I'm looking forward to seeing this whole thing. I told you, it's funny how I be knowing people who know people who know people. Like, it's always a connection with me with somebody. But yeah, I definitely want to check that out. Hopefully it's good and it's not like a Leah band. That because it's Lifetime. So I always kind of side eye the Lifetime things, but I feel like it might be a good one. And I'm trying to remember what's network and Lifetime usually has I'm trying to think of the streaming service. Usually Lifetime stuff pops up on Hulu. So I could probably, if it ends up on Hulu, I'll check it out. Yes, we are getting a Romeo and Michelle sequel. I saw that today. And I saw that video that when they was talking about that rumor about Will Smith in The Matrix, it was a music video from his upcoming album. I saw the video today with it was him and Big Sean. And I think the people who directed Bad Boys 3 and 4. But yeah, I saw the video for that today. And I think the album, the name of Will's album is based on a true story. Now, if people actually care enough to buy it, that's another conversation for a whole nother day. But look, if Busta Rhymes is releasing new music, if Nas is out here releasing new music, if Redman is out here releasing new music, if Eminem is out here releasing new music, if all the men over 50 is out here releasing new music, that Will Smith could be out here releasing new music. So now let's get into our final topic, because there's a brand new reality competition series coming to our TV screens. And by TV screens, it's Out TV. Now, Out TV got a lot of good shows over there. They got For the Love of Dips, which I'm absolutely loving season 3, because my friend Victor Yates is on it. Also, they have like Hot House and a whole bunch of other shows over there. But they have this new show coming out called Drag House Rules, which will feature some of your favorite Drag Race girls on the show. So yeah, there's the picture. So the new series, Drag House, will feature drag queen favorites such as Jujubee, Manila Luzon, Silky Nutmeg Ganache, Laganja Estranja, Rock M. Sakura, and Tammy Brown. I think I accidentally put Silky twice. I gotta edit that out. And Tammy Brown competing on a perilous competition reality show where they move into a house and are eliminated by group vote until only one queen remains. Also being a part of the show is Bitch Puddin', the winner of Dragula Season 2, and Tony Moore also appear. Well, I have no idea who Tony Moore is, but I know these other girls, like, of course, because of Drag Race, we know Jujubee, we know Manila, we know Silky, we know Laganja, we know Rock'em Sakura, we know Tammy Brown. And I know Bitch Puddin' because I watched Dragula, and she won the second season. But also, I like Bitch Puddin' because when I first moved to LA and I went to Precinct and at DTLA, and that was like one of the Drag Race, what was it? I think it was like the premiere episode. It was like a viewing party. And it was like, right after, as soon as I got off the plane and I got settled and where I was going to be staying at, I went immediately I was like, okay, let's go out. We're going down to the gay bar down in downtown LA. And I got my life. Damn, I was like, that was a good memory too. I had some good times when I lived down in Cali. So now it says what begins as a glamorous high stakes competition quickly unravels into pure unpredictable chaos. Secrets are exposed and alliances crumble as the queens fight to stay on top. And in my opinion, from hearing about this sounds like Big Brother with drag queens, which I could have sworn I've heard so many queens from Drag Race say, you know what they need to do? They need to put us in a house and they need to do it like it's like Big Brother or they said Bad Girls Club. It was like, we don't want y'all up in there fighting. We want y'all to be doing like y'all in the house. There's some drama. There's some type of manipulation type stuff. Well, like you got to do games and stuff. Like it's very much Big Brother in that way. And then you have to do a group elimination and stuff. So I feel like that would have been a cool way to go about it. And plus the shenanigans ensue. But then y'all talking about 7 queens. I'm like, y'all need a good 12 up in there. But I guess because it's Out TV and we know that, no shade, but Out TV, y'all be on a budget. Because when I subscribe to Out TV, it's like I think I pay like $4 a month for Out TV. So with the content and stuff on there, while they do put out a lot of content, it does feel like maybe they're like a small little company. So they're on a budget. They don't have like RuPaul's Drag Race type coins when they're putting that show together. So I can totally understand why they do what they do with the type of, like, they only do like maybe 6 episodes and they have like 7 queens, whatever. But yeah, I really hope, like, should this show get picked up and it becomes this bigger thing, that we get more queens on the show if it gets a season 2. Y'all need more than some damn 7 girls. Just like, I'm looking forward to this. And I'm also looking forward to the show that was supposed to be coming out with the stripper show with Willem hosting. And I think Raheem Shabazz is one of the judges. Hopefully he's good, because I heard he, personality-wise, he wasn't that good. But I'll just judge for myself when I watch the show. So, yeah, unfortunately, there is no trailer. And like I said, I would love to see at least 12 queens on the cast. But besides that, you know, I'll definitely be checking this series out when it comes out. And how I found out about it was a friend of mine sent me the screenshot and texted to me. It was like, did you hear about this? I was like, no, because Silky actually posted it on her Instagram. I think I actually have, hold on, let me go to her actual Instagram. So yeah, she posted this on her Instagram, and I was like a couple of hours ago, like 9 hours ago. And I was like, one of my friends said, that she didn't even tag none of the other girls in it. And then, yeah, like somebody said, Big Brother for Drag Race. I'm like, yeah, it's like a cross between Drag Race and Big Brother, which is something that we need. And I'm like, you know what? It needs to be like Big Brother, Drag Race, and the Traitors. And then even like, look, I even said that we need a drag queen version of like the challenge or something or another, where you get a whole bunch of queer folks. You can get Drag Race girls, you can get other queer people from other shows that have been on other reality shows. They can come on and do these physical challenges and stuff, because we've seen Vanjie do some physical challenges on, and you know, before on TV. So we want to be able to see all that stuff. There needs to be way more content on television that shows, you know, the LGBTs could do way more than just drag. So I'm actually here for this show. So yeah, she posted this, but she didn't really like give any more information. And I really wish that we would have gotten a lot more information in regards to like a trailer or something. But I think the show comes out. Oh yeah, February 21st. That's when it comes out. So if you have Out TV, definitely check it out. It is not expensive. So if you need it, if you don't have it, definitely I highly recommend it, because I like it. So I want to hear from you guys. What do you think of this new series? Are you excited to see this show, even though we don't know much about it? We just know who's a part of it. And majority of the girls on the team I do like, because we're familiar with all of them. And yeah, what do you think about this show? Are you excited to see something like this on your TV screen? So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, Robert says my mom signed up for the pre-sale link of the Old School Cruise with Morris Day and the Time, Lisa, Taylor Dane, and others in May of 2026. Well, that's going to be a good lineup. So yeah, when you got like all those old school 80s girls, the Salt and Pepper one was good. I'm trying to remember if I saw that one. I think I did. Matthew Lillard is coming back to Scream 7. Fans think, are we going to get a flashback scene explaining Maureen's death? All that's left is Skeet Ulrich. I'm fucking excited, but the goddamn Stu fans. Wait, did you hear that Matthew Lillard is coming back? Is that like breaking news? Wait, not the Gospel of Matthew. I was like, let me Google that. Because look, I did say in the beginning when I was talking about, yes, it is. It literally just came out. Hold on now. Now we got to sit up here and talk about it. I was ready to sign off. I'm like, what are y'all doing? So first, and look, we got the book in. So now we literally have the book in this. Hold on. So now I got to make this a damn story. Because I know people are like, what the fuck is going on right now? Why is Madonna trending? Every time I turn around, Madonna is up in here trending. I'm like, yeah. So that was like, look, and I made a joke earlier regarding that. Oh, wait. Yep. There it is. Okay. So hold on, because now, this is happening in real time. So now I got to make this a thing. So now we're going to book in this. You know what? It's funny how the universe happens. So I've never actually done a cruise. My parents have done a cruise, but I've always wanted to try one. If I go on a cruise, it's going to have to be a homosexual cruise. So I could be around all the menses. But all right, so let's get into this story. So, we started out the show. Well, actually, technically, our first topic was the faculty. But we did start out the beginning of the show with talking about how we have Roman from, Roman, Sydney's brother in Scream 3, is coming back in this film. So now there comes word. It literally just came out a half hour ago while we were doing the live that Matthew Lillard is reprising, I guess, his role as Stu Macher in Scream 7. So now this is the latest story, and it is courtesy of Variety. So literally I had to go, and for some reason, because Robert broke the news. So I was like, let's go to talk about that topic. So please hold as we get into it. So according to Deadline, it says, they said no spoiler alert here. Really? I don't know why y'all revealing all this stuff. So it says Matthew Lillard, who played Stu Macher in the first 1996 Scream movie, is returning to the franchise for Spyglass Paramount Scream 7. How is that possible? We will see. Does Stu have a twin? Doesn't look like it from Lillard's Instagram post. Last we saw the horror movie obsessed Stu, he was chasing Neve Campbell's Sydney down 29 years ago, attempting to kill her. However, he had the upper hand, she had the upper hand, dropping a TV on his head. Also, you'll remember that Billy and Stu began stabbing each other to make themselves look like the victims just months before Sydney kicked their ass. Now, Scream launched Lillard's career out of the canon, with the actor continuing on to star in Scooby-Doo, She's All That, The Descendants, and even in Five Nights at Freddy's, which Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is supposed to be coming out later this year, I believe. Then it says the actor joins legacy cast members Neve Campbell and Courtney Cox, as well as Scott Foley, Mason Gooding, and Jasmine Savoy Brown, alongside newcomers Isabel May, Celeste O'Connor, Asa Gurman, Michaela Grace, Sam Reckner, Anna Camp, Joe McHale, and most recently added to the franchise, Mark Consuelos, who actually officially made the announcement after everything done leaked. He talked about it on Kelly and Mark, where Kelly kept, do you die? Are you the killer? She was being so annoying, but I was laughing. So then franchise creator, as you know, Kevin Williamson is directing, with Guy Busick writing the script. So I'm wondering if all these things coming out about Matthew Lillard, and most recently, what was just announced that Scott Foley is returning, does this mean that they're going with the whole cult angle? Honestly, I really wish they would have kept this under wraps, because now it's going to start up the fandom. Everybody, I'm sure, is on Twitter as we speak. Yay, we're finally getting Stu back. Stu's not dead. Because over the years, when we've been talking about Scream, the main thing everybody's talking about, Stu's coming back. When they going to bring Stu back? It's always been that conversation, and it is grinding my goddamn gears. But at this point, when I talked about earlier in the show, when I was talking about Scott Foley coming back, my main question was, well, at this point, you might as well bring back Stu Macher. You might as well bring back Cotton Weary, and you might as well bring back Dewey Riley. Because if y'all sitting there bringing people back from the dead, then why don't you bring them people back? So yeah, remember, in part 3, they said because of Columbine, they had to cut the idea, but they were going to do this whole Ghostface cult type thing where there's a multitude of Ghostface, and the mastermind behind it was allegedly supposed to be Matthew Lillard Stu Macher, that we thought he was dead. Apparently he wasn't dead. Because remember, he got a TV put on his head, but was he shot in the head? Because it seemed like that would be the only way you can kill them. Kind of like a vampire or a zombie. You got to like take it to the head. But he was knocked out with a TV. So we don't know. Maybe all the years we thought he was dead, but then he escapes like a mental hospital because there is something about a mental patient. But I hate that all this stuff is coming out because now it's going to have a lot of people speculating what we think this script is. I would have really liked to have gone in with this element of surprise instead of Deadline spilling all this damn tea, because they spilled the one about Scott Foley earlier. Now they're spilling about Matthew Lillard coming back. And so what does this all mean? I don't know. Today's just been one of those weird days that I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what is happening? And I don't even know how to wrap my head around this, because it's just been, it's been a lot. Like, with everything going on in politics, my brain hurt from all the craziness that's going on with that. And then on top of this, with this news, we got a twofer today where it's like Scott Foley was announced earlier today that he was coming back as, wow, we don't know who he's coming back as. But remember, he was killed in Scream 3. And now we have we have Matthew Lillard coming back. In what capacity? I don't know. And I'm wondering if one of the women that's in this series is playing Stu's sister or something or another. So I'm definitely curious to see what is this story entails. What is this script? What are we going to expect? Because it just seems like it's some bonkers idea. Or is he going to come back as a Force ghost? So got a lot of questions. But I think a lot of us have a lot of questions that are just going to have to go unanswered until this movie wraps. And then we get a trailer, and then we can speculate. And then in 2026, we can talk about it. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story in regards of hearing about Matthew Lillard coming back as Stu Macher, allegedly? Oh, who knows? He could be coming back as something else. But who else could he play but Stu? That's the most iconic role that he's played. And then at this point, like, we already had him as a ghost in the other films. Are we getting Skeet Ulrich signing back on? So I got a lot of questions, as you can see. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Well, I'm glad I was, that came out before I, before I signed on. Oh, let's say, wait, there's a couple of things here. Yeah, Drag Survivor. He said it's going, it said with Madonna, I guess, because of what she said about not giving up. Rest in peace, Erin Kruger, Scream 3. Yeah, he basically just decimated what that damn script was. They're probably going to be like, you know what, we're retconning Scream 3, and we're just going to completely come in with a whole different situation. And whatever y'all came up with, it better be top damn notch. It better be like iconic. I'm not crazy over Scream like y'all, but I always thought that he survived. Since I was little and watched the movie for the first time, I always thought Stu was up to something. Might have been. Remember, Sydney dropped the TV on him and he was electrocuted. That was a big fatback TV too. If Scream 7 is actually the cult concept, I would probably watch it. Could be because of how young the cast is. And the funny thing was, the cult idea, I remember that he developed that into The Following, which was a TV series that lasted 2 seasons. And I like that show. So Mark Kincaid exists in a different universe, I guess. Because I'm like, maybe that's what it is that they're doing. So it's like, oh, well, yeah, if Mark Kincaid this is not Mark Kincaid, he exists in another universe, and we have Scott Foley, maybe Scott Foley is coming in, and they'll be like, who is this? How is he? Maybe they're trying to, you want to know something? Could you imagine if they're doing like a different timeline, multiverse type of thing? Like maybe this is a poke at multiverses and because like when it comes to Scream is very meta with a lot of stuff. So they do like different timelines, especially like, look, this made me just think about it. How many different timelines do we have when it comes to Halloween? There's so many different timelines in regards to that. Like we have Halloween and Halloween 2, then you have Halloween H2O. That kind of like plays into that. That's the one thing. And then because she had a son in that movie, then we get like one that's a direct sequel to Halloween. I think Halloween, because they didn't even acknowledge Halloween 2. Halloween 2, there would be the lie about the theory about them being Michael Myers' sister, them being siblings, but they would say like that they retconned that. So I feel like when they came out with Halloween 2018, that was a direct sequel. So they have a different version. Then you have the timeline of Jamie Lloyd. So maybe what they're trying to do is play into this whole multiverse idea of horror. So you have like, okay, so people you thought was dead is not necessarily dead. That's what I'm kind of thinking with this. There could be a thing with that. That's probably playing into this because that has kind of been an ongoing thing with our films lately, where they're doing different timelines and stuff. And they could probably play up in that, and having Mindy there be the Randy. She goes on this whole little monologue of explaining that in a funny way. So I'm thinking that's the direction they're going into that, where some people are like, this shit don't make no sense. But if you play it in that whole situation, it makes all the sense. Well, Melissa Shane skeet like they did Jasmine. Yeah, we'll see about that. I want to see Melissa Barrera in Scary Movie. I hope they consider putting her in that. So what are they going to do? Like, are they going to say they were in some secret clinic or something healing from their wounds? Or he was in a mental institution? I watched the MTV show when it first aired. So, yeah, it wasn't good, though. The MTV show wasn't good. So, yeah. I was not expecting that to be like the bookend of everything, but I found a way to close up the show. Well, thank you for that news, Mr. Price. So, on that note, we're at the end of the show today. So I want to thank you all for tuning in to the latest episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. If you can, please hit that like button and that subscribe button. Also, be sure to smash the notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Love you all for watching. Love you all for chatting with me in the live chat. And until next time, ciao, darlings.